Points with numbers. Rock across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 miracle, the United States takes the gold.
6:02, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. 46 years later, and USA men's hockey are gold medalists once again. Jack Hughes, Mets overtime winner, 141 into 3-on-3 overtime as the U.S. beat Canada 2-1 and take gold for the first time since 1980. Miracle on ice where the U.S. beat the Soviets. Canada controlled much of the game, but USA goalie Connor Hellebuck made 41 saves in the win. And as the Olympics came to a close yesterday, the final medal tracker, Norway led the way with 41 medals, followed by USA with 33, and then host nation Italy had 30. On Saturday night, Nashville SC kicked off the MLS season with a dominant 4-1 win over the New England Revolution at Geodis Park. Sam Surridge scored twice, and Nashville secures the 3 points. And Saturday afternoon, the Tennessee Vols beat Vanderbilt Saturday afternoon on West End in college hoops, 69-65, led by Jacoby Gillespie's 17 points and out-rebounding the Commodores 39-30. The Vols improved to 10-4, while Vandy falls to 8-6 in SEC play. For all your foundation repair waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Bringing news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Off and running, starting a brand new week on 104.5 The Zone. Good morning and welcome in to Ramon and Will, 615-737-1045. The last time we'll all be together in the same building, the same room until Friday. NFL Combine Week. Lots of college hoops to talk about. We got Belmont head coach Casey Alexander, Austin Peay head coach Corey Gibson at hour 3. Stoney Keeley stops by at 7:20, previewing the NFL Combine, a Foster 5 of the Titans' 5 biggest draft needs. Oh, and we took hockey from Canada over the weekend. Streaming live on 104.5 The Zone TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch live for the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio, Kentucky's largest sports book. Can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. Feels good to wake up in the best hockey country in America. Good morning, gentlemen.
What a time. What a time to be alive. Well, since before I was born, you can't even say before you were born because it was before I was born, Will, before we won the gold like this. Over 40 years, if I'm not mistaken.
46 years. Everything happened before I was born, but this happened before a lot of you were born as well.
Yes, it was. We think, by the way, good morning. Way to make it back to us on this Monday morning. We get an opportunity to come and say hello to everybody. It depends on how your weekend went, though, as well, right? But I know as a country, to your point, USA, 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 USA.
That's right. That's right. Very fun.
Electric.
My goodness. I mean, 2-1 in overtime. This game had everything. It had a goalie standing on his head. It had some very skilled offensive performances. It had drama. It had fighting. And at the end, it had a lot of beers for the men's hockey team from these United States of America.
Big time, man. Overall, everybody, I think it was kind of cool seeing everybody be united over this national sport now since we took it from Canada. I've been railing Zeph about it as far as just talking trash to him in group chats and stuff like that. I told him, hey, go back up north, nerd, okay? I put him in a group chat, Will, and just let him know in front of his 3HL family, man. Poor Zeph. No, not no poor him. He switched sides on us and didn't know our names in the mornings. But again, what I like about this is the sense of pride that you get, the unity that you get as well, and just the competitive side of this is not just a once every 4-year event. It does mean a lot to those countries, to those participants, too. And I think you're seeing it as well in how they celebrated, the way they played, and just the spirit and how folks are talking trash about it. Like, I know there's a lot of passive hockey watchers that bought a shirt or talking trash like myself this morning that's just simply enjoying winning. everything, man. And I say this with all due respect to people. Everything's a competition.
That's what the Olympics are all about, right?
It is,
bringing
man.
people together under sport.
Big time. I was listening to Pros and a Cup of Joe this morning, and they was just speaking about the pay that these athletes get and stuff like that. And that never really registered to me with the Olympics, the pay. Like, I felt
Or
like
lack thereof.
or very much the lack thereof.
Right.
But I always looked at it as like, the reason I feel like we stop everything sports-wise, NHL has stopped. Like, summer basketball has stopped whenever it comes up and stuff like that. And everybody watch track in the summers is because these people are doing it more than likely, the athletes, with passion.
Yeah,
with
for the love of the
pride.
game, a lot of times.
It really is.
It is the purest form of sport that we have, and an Americanized, not even Americanized, but yeah,
World.
like a Americanized world of corporate, commercialized sports.
Yeah.
Like, there's no breaks between face-offs for betting ads on who you can bet on. Like, there were no commercials, Ramon, during the periods.
Yeah.
There were no commercial breaks
Insane.
at all during the first, second, and third periods. So you actually had a chance to get to know these players a little bit more and get to hear more stories from Catherine Tappett about the Kachuk brothers and the Quinn Hughes and Jack Hughes dynamic, and Connor Hellebuck, Vezina-winning goaltender. I'm in soccer mode. Goaltender who stands on his head and proves people wrong that he can't win the big game even though he's won a Vezina. Like, it felt more just like pure sports.
Yeah. Yes.
And nothing else.
Yeah.
No fluff. No anything else, in a world where we're getting more fluff and more other stuff and less sports and pretty much every other sport.
No, seriously.
I mean, I watch as many commercials
right.
as I do in a 4.5 hour college football game,
right.
as I feel like we watch actually college football. And this was the total opposite of that.
Dude, watching,
So well done.
watching basketball this past weekend, it's the main sport that's on right now. So many betting apps to get in on this period and that period, which is a part of the culture and is worldwide as well.
Open market.
It's not just
Right.
USA thing, but to your point about how pure it gets, me finding out about the Kachuk brothers, like, legitimately, I thought that was cool. Their father playing in it, getting silver, and then, like you said, the specials that they run leading up to it, where he's joking them about, hey, I'm writing you out of the will if you don't come home with gold.
It was great.
They came home with gold, Will. I couldn't imagine. I can't imagine that type of stuff because I got two boys that play sports, and we'll all have seeds that go off and do stuff. But, like, that proud parent moment, like, I couldn't imagine what the Kachuk's father felt watching that and knowing that his boys watched him or at least grew up knowing what he did. Like, that to me is the pride side of it, to where, like you said, it's for vibes and pride for the most part with what you're doing with the Olympics, man, winter and summer. So I love it.
A lot
Absolutely.
of storylines in this Olympics for
It
the USA
was.
team because Brock Nelson, his uncle, played on the 1980 Olympic gold medal team.
Dave Christian. Yep.
And then his grandfather played in the 1960s, I believe is what they said.
1960 gold medal team. Yeah.
1960.
So now his son's got to win gold in 2040.
Yeah. Step up to the plate, young man. Overall, the game, y'all know that back and forth of it better than I do when it comes down to it. This is as good.
It was
hockey
as good
cinema?
of a goaltending performance as I've ever
41
seen.
to 42 blocks, right?
41 saves.
Call them blocks.
I know exactly what you're saying.
He just like me, man.
Listen, we don't have enough diehard hockey people listening to gatekeep any of this.
What I'm thinking of, like,
This
the
is for all.
goalie.
This is, you know what? It's our sport now, Ramon.
our
There you
sport.
go.
We can call it whatever we
There
want.
you go.
You know what I'm going to
I
call
saw
Take that, Canada.
Somebody said it's called ice football now. Read it and weep. Ice football.
There you go.
Gold medal
the good
yesterday.
ice. Yeah, never mind.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the Winter Olympics. Of course, we're talking about that kind of ice.
Hey, I'm thinking like the goalie's like an offensive lineman. He blocked 42 times, missed one block, and it means the world. But you know what? He got an opportunity
Connor
to get it back.
Hellebuck channeled his inner Jim Craig from the 1980 Olympics.
Hey, man.
He stood on his head, was fantastic, and had the
Beautiful.
defense to back him up.
The stick save on Devin Tays is otherworldly.
I heard you, poet.
And Charlie
Six save
McAvoy's
on Devin Tays. Go.
that Charlie McAvoy save where
Used it right.
Connor Hellebuck was out of the ice at the moment
Yeah.
and stepped in. Oh, it was fantastic.
Canadians shot the U.S. 19-8 in the second period. The 5-on-3, 93-second power play. They don't get anything out of that either. The U.S. went 18 of 18 on the penalty kill in this tournament. And it's fitting the guy that got his tooth chipped to give a double minor on a high-sticking penalty to Sam Bennett is the guy that ended up winning this thing for the United States, Jack Hughes. He was terrific. And to be honest with you, the 3-on-3 overtime favored Canada. And that format favored the Canadians because the Canadians had the better forwards. You feel like the U.S.'s advantage on the roster was with their defensemen.
Yeah.
Well, you only have one defenseman on the ice at a time when you're in 3-on-3. The line of Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, and Cale Makar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you could put a more skilled trio on the ice in 3-on-3 if you included every single country. I mean, maybe Alex Ovechkin makes it in there, but he's kind of old at this point. Like insanely skilled. The group of three that the United States had to beat that was on the ice, and they won the opening faceoff. Like, there was a very real world where when they get that opening faceoff, the U.S. doesn't touch the puck for like 3 or 4 minutes.
Jeez.
And they got it pretty immediately. The bold choices worked from the GM and from the front office side of this thing. And Vincent Trocheck and JT Miller, I mean, Brock Nelson as well, were kind of controversial picks. And they went for swagger. They went for attitude. They tried to build the best team that could work together and fit together versus put the best collection of individual players in the same uniforms.
Yeah.
And it worked because they were 18 of 18 on the penalty kill. And you bring in certain guys, you bring in more of the goal-scoring threats that were left home. I mean, there are 230 goal scorers that were left home. Jeez. And you bring Trocheck and Miller, you throw in Brock Nelson, you do that with the expectation that we got to have some grinders. And then you go 18 of 18 on the penalty kill. It worked perfectly. In a lot of ways, it mirrored what 1980 was. And if you watch Miracle like I did over the weekend, because it was the perfect way to pregame this game, it's the same thing then. Like, good players got left home, or good players weren't on the ice.
Better players, right.
You have to have some physical checkers, or what they call in Miracle on Ice, the coneheads. You got to have some physical just grinders to rough up the stars on the other side. You're not matching up stars with stars every single time. And, man, it was so much fun. Love that team.
It's a great way
Love
to break
that team.
down.
USA Hockey, and I think it goes back to Miracle, and it's generational for a lot of people. USA Hockey just feels a little bit different when you watch it. And it goes back to the history of it is a very generational sport. It's guys that are normal-looking dudes like you and me. They're not 6'10". They're not 7 feet. Like, I think that plays into it. Is like it just looks like guys you would see on the street.
Yeah.
Like, hockey players are very normal athletes that just kind of blend in. And I think that goes a long way to ingratiating themselves to us as a country, that when we have the opportunity to, let's get behind these boys. Like, they feel like the boys.
Yeah.
And the boys won gold yesterday.
Vibing.
I thought you had more than that.
It's not Predators. This is totally different from Nashville
I did have stuff to say, but Will just kept going, and it was exactly what I was going to say. The way the U.S. has some of the best core defensemen in the world. And
Quinn Hughes is awesome.
And that's what showed up yesterday. While Canada's got the best forwards, the U.S. have the counterpart to that, the defenseman, the goalie. And that's what stood out yesterday and this tournament, was how physical and determined that this U.S. hockey team has been over the last several years trying to build up to this Olympics, and it showed.
So they went with grimy, is what you're telling me. And this tournament turned out to be that way as well.
Not giving up.
They embraced the American swagger.
Okay.
As head coach Mike Sullivan continued to say.
And by the way, again, I seen it brought up, and yes, shout out to the women's national hockey team as well.
For
Two
sure.
goals,
I
big
was
goals.
freaking out of that. We talked about that last week.
Yeah, we did, man.
That was last Thursday.
2 for 2, man.
Yeah.
Big stuff.
Hockey sweep.
That's right. It's our sport. Ice football. Sweet.
Ice football.
615-737-1045. Tennessee wins at Memorial Gymnasium.
Where?
Memorial Gymnasium.
Who plays
on
there?
West End. The Vanderbilt Commodores. What stood out from it? Coming up next. Ramona Will at 104.5 The Zone, our number one in studio this morning in freezing Music City. I'm headed up to the Combine after the show today as Ramona and I divide and conquer again, and our roles are reversed for the last couple of years.
That's what I was thinking. It's like we really flopped roles on this thing, man. It's kind of cool. Look, as long as we represent it is all that matters to me, man. My dog's still getting to it, and I love that for you. Well, you're just going to see. I was just telling one of my good friends, it's anybody that's in the sport of the NFL that's either trying to get a job in the coaching world, business around the NFL, every shoe company, Nike, Adidas, I don't think Reebok's around anymore, Under Armour, like everybody will be there, but it's more controlled.
Sure.
In this way about going about it. So you'll see random GMs and coaches and players walking down the street. It's a good time. Real good time.
It's going to be fun.
Look who showed up in the chat right on time for good old hoop ball talk. Man had an iconic quote this week. I'm not sure if y'all saw his.
What's that?
His recap of his video. Wish I'd have sent it to you, Hawks, so we could play it. It's like, man, Tennessee Volunteers got 2 homes in Tennessee. The only team in the SEC with 2 homes. One on Rocky Top and the other one on West End, baby. Let's go.
69-65. Tennessee beats number 19 Vanderbilt on Saturday in their second home, Memorial Gym. Let's start there, Ramon.
Yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised how much orange was in that building. And that's less about Tennessee fans, who I know are always going to bring it and always going to take. Do Vandy fans not know they have a really good basketball team? Why were there so many tickets available for Tennessee fans to buy?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought if there was ever a year where maybe less Tennessee fans would want to go, it's in a year where you're not favored to win, and you've been favored to win there the last couple times. And I mean, heck, you beat them 14 out of 16 coming into this game, and now it's 15 out of 17 for Tennessee against Vanderbilt, which is unbelievable in its own right. I was shocked to see just the amount of orange that was in that building on Saturday.
Same. I'm going to be honest with you. I told you, my anxiety and hate that I can't control the game wouldn't allow me to go into those situations like that because I get tight. I get anger. I get all those things when I walk into those gyms. And, like, the amount of Vols fans that went inside of that building and was loud. I saw a lot of people tweeting about it. You heard it on the television audio as well. You saw it in the post game as well, all the orange that was in there. I get why Coach Byington was in that mindset of asking the fans, go, get the tickets, come to the game. I didn't think that was necessary to your point. Like, they have. As of late, they won on the last second shot last time I think we played in Memorial Gym. The women have dominated inside of there as well. They've taken home court advantage and ran with it. And that, to me, was surprising that you got the Vols coming in unranked inside of the stadium on a midday Saturday game. You can't blame it on the hockey. There's no football going on as well, and you got those issues. And I know a lot of people probably, say snarkily behind the phone is, well, I just wanted to make money off Vols fans. That ain't how it works in these type of situations right here when you got a good team. If y'all were bad, you can say that. But that team, Tyler Tanner is one of the most electric players in college sports.
It's a really good basketball team.
Really good basketball. Yeah. Well coached, great defense, guard play is elite, and it's a rivalry. It's that part of it.
For Vandy, it's the rivalry as well.
Yeah. Hold down the fort is the way I look at that one, man. But Big Vols was in the house this past weekend.
Jacoby Gillespie had 17 points to lead the way, including 2 really big free throws with 13 seconds left, putting Tennessee up 3. Bishop Boswell with 9 points, including 2 huge buckets late in this game. Jalen Carey, 7 points, 7 rebounds at his return to his former school. Mm-hmm. But this game, again, Ramon, I think is headlined by Nate Ament, who did not fill up the stat sheet in the way that he has over the last month and a half, but still impacted the game and found ways to be productive and be impactful. 13 points, 9 rebounds, including the ultimately game-winning shot after getting fouled about 4 times in 4 seconds. Goes up, makes just an unblockable shot go to put Tennessee up 1 late. They get a stop, they get it back, they make the free throws with Gillespie at the line. He was just 1 of 7 for the floor in the first half. He did not make his second shot from the field, Ramon, until 11:51 in the second half. Nate Ament has become the player that Rick Barnes hoped he would be. Mm-hmm. It's not is becoming. It's not he's getting there. Even in a game where he did not fill up the stat sheet, he proved he's the guy.
Yeah.
And with under 5 minutes left, with under 10 minutes left, the way he's playing in the second halves right now, you want the ball in his hands with the game on the line.
Yeah, you do. And they did it. And here's the thing. It's been situations this year early in the season where the ball wasn't going to his hand. It was going to Jacoby Gillespie's, and, like, he wasn't involved. And then he turned the corner. Like, I remember vividly watching the Kentucky's game, specifically the one in Lexington. That last shot, Nate brings it up the court. They cross half court. They put the ball in his hand. I'm thinking to myself, this is a freshman. This is a big-time game. And he goes and he misses the shot. And, like, we talked to Savage on Friday, Ron Slay, for the folks that don't know, aren't familiar. We had this conversation with him on Friday. It's like, when you have the guy, and to your point, Will, he's become the guy. I remember Ron saying this, Savage saying this on Friday. He was just like, he will be the best player on the court. And I'm thinking to myself, but Tyler Tanner cold too. And then you see the situation that he was put in. And he makes the shot, puts him up. The part that I wanted to get to when I was about to jump in on you a second ago is there are a lot of things that happen, I think, in sports where people start to get favorable whistles, they're protected, or whatever the case may be. Nate's getting beat to hell.
It's
I just want to
for
throw
him
it out
to get
there.
a favorable whistle.
Very much so.
That was one of them in both directions, not just Tennessee's way. That was one of the most poorly officiated basketball games I've watched all year. Joe Lindsay had a rough game, and the fourth foul on Felix Okpara, which could have totally torpedoed this game for Tennessee.
Yeah.
A drive where Felix is leaning over, doesn't touch the Vanderbilt player, not even get close to him, and is not only given a foul, but his fourth foul.
Yeah.
Like, really poorly officiated game.
And I know, like, that's how we know this game means a lot, too. Getting to that point about the shot that Nate Apara, who am I talking about? Nate Ament made to kind of seal it. He was pivoting like crazy, but he's also getting pushed. And the point that I kind of want to bring up is, this game means a lot. When a coach can congratulate the player and say that was a hell of a shot by Nate Ament, but he might have shuffled his feet one or two times.
That's what Mark Byington said postgame.
Yeah, I was looking at that and I'm like, that's what he's supposed to say. This is what he's supposed to be asking for. But that game and that moment with him holding on to it as well, nothing you can do about that. The man rose up and made one hell of a shot. And also got bullied, pushed around while trying to pivot. I personally didn't think he moved his foot. If he did, like, that's just, to me, basketball grace. You're going to get pushed around. If y'all not watching Nate Ament, something's wrong with you. Because to your point, 4 points in the first half, and 2 of those was on free throws. And then he comes on and constantly gets to the stripe. He's making rebounds with the ball's not in his hand.
Making winning plays.
He's making winning plays. I didn't see it the first half of the season, probably the first 8 games with Nate. I see it.
I thought the Tennessee small ball lineup won them this game. And Rick Barnes said it after the game. He thought the second line was really good.
Yeah.
Said the guys coming off the bench, we got a lot of good on both ends of the court. Those guys were really helpful to us. So Rick Barnes put in a lineup with a 49-42 deficit out of the second media timeout of the second half. Down by 7.
Mm-hmm.
And it turned into a 53-51 lead with Jacoby Gillespie, Nate Ament, Amari Evans, and Ethan Berg on the floor with Dwayne Brown. If you had told me that Tennessee would go on a run to beat Vandy with that lineup on the floor, even a week before this game, I would have laughed at you.
I would have.
Rick Barnes said it helped us. It helped us at that point in the game. We've been doing it a little more in practice because of thinking if we got in foul trouble, we wanted to have some things. And with that lineup, said it opened up the court a little bit more for us. Any type of Vols lineup that opens up Jacoby Gillespie to catch and shoot or to be a scorer off the ball is a good lineup for Tennessee. And if Ethan Berg continues to play like this, all of a sudden Tennessee's backcourt becomes more of a strength. His drive with the left-hand layup to give Tennessee a lead in this game, where's that been?
Dude. And again, like, these players will have different roles. Like, we're seeing what his can be. Like, it might just be that Will in spurts where he comes in and becomes a little bit of an X factor almost, in a sense, because to your point, his stat line wasn't crazy, but when you look at his effect on the game defensively, getting an offensive rebound as well, and I'll even add that to the fact too, like, 14 offensive rebounds. Speaks about the second chance opportunities they get, but everybody's crashing the board. Point guards are crashing the board.
And that's the thing is, like, the fact that Tennessee can go small and still have 14 offensive rebounds is a luxury that not a lot of teams have.
And I got to give a lot of credit also to Felix Akpara, just in general. Like, to hold your own and be steady with that fourth foul as long as he did, I think is going to be crucial for him. Not just him, but you're without Estrella. Duke Miles also comes back, right? You got to be able to defend him. And then again, you bring up a second of Dwayne Brown. Like,
8 points, 4 rebounds.
You need players to be cornerstone guys. Like, to me, he can turn into like Grant, essentially. Not per se, as far as importance. Yeah. To like the program. Like, he seems to be that his NIL gonna go up next year. Like, but he's earned it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the role that he's playing, especially if Jalen is back or Felix is gone, like, you can win with Dwayne Brown with what he's doing as a true freshman right now. And this guy's
from Birmingham.
That's what I was gonna say, out of Alabama as well. I think he's the number one player in the state, but not necessarily a All-American type that came out, but he can play ball.
Tennessee is starting to solve its turnover issues a little bit. That's the big thing that comes out of this game. I was shocked that Tennessee had less turnovers than Vandy.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you win a basketball game on the road. 9 turnovers to Vandy's 10. Tennessee scored 1 more point off of turnovers than Vandy did. That's 2 straight games now where Tennessee has not been giving away the basketball left and right. That's significant.
It is very much so.
That is potentially significant because that is the Achilles heel.
It's hurt them.
For this Tennessee basketball team. They have such good offensive rebounders. You are essentially, as Ron Slay says, passing the ball off the rim if you just shoot it.
Yeah.
But you got to shoot it in order to get to that point. And I thought the spacing of the floor in the way that Rick went with that small lineup helped contribute to that. And I just think that Jacoby Gillespie is settling in a little bit and understanding his role and also having help. Being able to throw it down to Dwayne Brown and trust that he can back somebody in on the low block and put him in the boom boom room, be able to throw it off glass and it's going to go in. Like, you make a couple of those shots the way he did the other night, all of a sudden, all right, big fella, I'm more willing to bounce it down to you and see what you got. Like, now all of a sudden you got to respect that, and there's more windows open for Jacoby and for Bishop and for the shooters because now you got to help a little bit more against these post guys that can just back you down and score. From the Vandy perspective, how concerning is this stretch for the Commodores? Because they started the season off undefeated into SEC play. Oh. They win that game against Alabama at home, and they look like the best team in the conference, and they are fading. And in this game, Ramon, they can't use the Duke Miles excuse because he was back.
And he played well.
But what stood out to you about this Vanderbilt team and the way they lost this game?
Everything comes from the guards. It's that part. You got to be able to slow the game down. Like, I'm watching Houston. I'm watching Michigan. I'm watching Duke. Like, their ability to get into the paint is something that I think they need to invest in. And I'm sure there's going to be Mark Bryant's offseason approaches. Go get him some bigs that can complement the guard play that he has. I felt like, and you know the game can go either way at that point, but I felt like the Vols were in good positioning when you have their guards who were the shot that Duke Miles just threw up for 3.
They hit some incredible shots. Tyler Tanner had 2 of just like, how in the world did that just go in shots?
When you slow the offensive set down and they got to play defense, and you got teams that's pitching the tent up in the paint the way the Vols were able to, or they were able to go high-low in there, the bigs just seem like they're lost, so they can't defend it. That's where it's concerning. And if you look at how they've lost, whether that be to Missouri the way they did, which they almost came back, like, if their guards aren't hot and they get streaky, that's where it becomes problematic for you. Like, that to me is their biggest issue. It ain't turnovers. It ain't being able to get to the rim. It's when you got rim protectors or teams that can half-court you and play an offensive set that get you out of the way. And that's where I feel like the Vols are able to do. Like you said, too, it's not like they can't jump offensively to go get those second-chance rebounds that the opposing team is getting. But the Vols, the way I watched it this past weekend, were able to just simply box them out and find it. And their bigs aren't doing as good as I feel like everybody else in the SEC is doing in that.
Devin McLaughlin was minus 14 in this game.
For the people that's listening, that's not good.
No, that means that while you were on the floor, you lost 14 points.
So he scored 11 himself.
Yes.
25 points against him.
Well, it's not just the points he scored.
Yeah,
it's the
I know,
points
I'm talking about everyone
scored.
else. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right, so,
not against him.
Yeah, right.
But
right.
yeah.
Not necessarily 25 points against him, but he did score 11. But overall, yeah, he's minus 14 in this game. Tyler Nickel going 1 of 6 from 3, and he missed some wide open ones, to be honest with you, too.
Yeah, from the field.
1 of 8 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3.
And no free throws.
I think that's going to be the struggle for Vanderbilt. And Tennessee is a rare kind of team because there are not a lot of teams that can defend the perimeter with their backcourt and also be as long and athletic inside as Tennessee is in the front court. Vandy is going to need to find a way to find other ways to score against really good perimeter defenses. To me, I thought they should have stayed with their full court press a little bit more. That's been something that's given Tennessee problems. I'd be curious to learn from Mark Byington why he didn't press more in this game. He's a good coach. I mean, I'm sure he's got an answer for it, but I thought that was a mistake, not sending more pressure at Tennessee, considering the weakness that the Vols have had. And that's where they really hung their hat early in the season. They were a full court pressure, turn you over, fast break offense kind of team. And when you can't get consistent paint points, you can't rebound your misses from 3, and you can't consistently make threes, you've got to find some other outlet. And I didn't think they were able to do that in this game. I thought Tennessee really, really was impressive in the second half, and I thought Tennessee was a better team.
They were on this one. And I know a lot of people, well, we're ranked. Well, on this one, the way it played out, the Vols were the better team going into it, most definitely. And the other side, too, where you mentioned the second go as far as our bigs versus their bigs. Like, you got Jalen Washington and, like you said as well, McLaughlin, both getting in foul trouble. Like, Felix had his 4, but Felix was able to stay out the way for the most part, too. Like, those guys needed to be impactful, and 4 fouls with no impact offensively doesn't work for you.
Coming up, your phone calls, as always, 615-737-1045. Mike Tirico nailed the end of Olympic coverage yesterday. After Team USA won gold over Canada, you'll hear what he had to say coming up next. That's Kenny Albert on the call for NBC's coverage of U.S. gold in ice football. That's what it's called now since we took the sport from Canada. We can call it whatever we want.
We can.
Do we like ice football? I like ice football.
That or ice soccer, but I don't know if it has a nice
it's not
ring
American.
to it.
It's not American.
Yeah, that's true. That's global.
Ice football. I love soccer. We're going to talk Nashville SC in a few minutes. But
Yeah, we
ice
are.
football is how you appeal to the masses.
Ice football on the ice gridiron, however you want to call it.
That's exactly
we
right.
We did it this weekend, man.
On the ice field over the weekend. Jack Hughes with the goal. So Mike Tirico, I thought had a great sign off. And by the way, kudos to Mike Tirico on an elite 2 weeks.
Grinding.
For an elite broadcaster who's always this good, but he's on national stages even more so over the past couple of weeks. And I don't know when he slept, to be quite honest with you. And he had a great sign off at the end of Olympic hockey yesterday. Take a listen to this.
Because of a drought that almost lasted a half century, those teams are revered. They are held on to forever. And what happened today doesn't take away from the greatness of those teams or the meaning that those teams have in U.S. hockey. But what you saw today was the build of a generation, inspired perhaps by that team that lost in 2010 in Vancouver to the Sidney Crosby golden goal in overtime. Or the team where TJ Oshie had all those shootout goals in 2014. That's when these guys were doing what you're doing, watching on TV. And they were young, and they were living the dream. So for all the young people out there, not just the hockey, but all the Olympics you've watched, those dreams are formed now. Go chase them and go get them. Because our country loves sports, and it brings us together unlike anything else. And if you didn't know that, if you haven't been watching the last 2 weeks, you saw it in Team USA Hockey, winning the gold over their Art Travel Canada here in Milan to wrap up these 25th Olympic Winter Games.
Well done. Wow. Mike Tirico sums it up perfectly. USA Hockey, men and women, perfectly embodied what the Olympics are all about.
Man, villains going to be made out of this matchup right here. Hearing Tirico say that. Like, there's some young cats in Canada looking at this right now. Ooh, but that's what it's about, though. Like, the way he summed it up and Sidney Crosby beating you, like, and you think about, there were young guys watching this. You know what I'm saying? That played hockey that are now participating in these games. Well, Tirico's just good. And by the way, left the Super Bowl in Santa Clara and made it over to Milan the very next day to do the broadcast. I know he's probably flying private. Who knows? However he's getting there. That is no easy task. And for him, like you said, to sign off the way he did, man, that man's a pro's pro. I love that for him.
He hosted primetime that night of the Super Bowl on the field.
It's true.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Insane stuff. USA, baby. Ice football.
I love
that thing.
I love it. It is like the fraternity guys you knew in college just all went to Italy and won a gold medal together.
No doubt.
That's the hockey player vibe. That's kind of the feeling you get. And they had one of the best goaltending performances in a gold medal game ever.
Yeah.
And Connor Hellebuyck, who was very Jim Craig-esque, like the 1980 team that won gold and beat Russia with an elite performance from Jim Craig in that game. So much fun. That is the most fun I've had watching the Olympics, definitely in the winter ever. But we stole hockey, men and women, both
we
gold.
Run it now,
right.
and I'm here for it. Now they'll go back to their respected NHL team.
Yep, and it'll look really different. I saw a lot of tweets being like, "Dang, we gotta." Imagine winning gold, like going on a bender with your boys, and then coming back to play the quote Philadelphia Flyers.
Smell like broken here.
It's like, man, a lot of people in Los Angeles are going to love hockey, and then they're going to tune into an LA Kings game and be like, what the heck is this?
What is this?
Yeah, it's not always like that.
No, absolutely
Preds fans know that well. And watching UC Saros finish, but no pun intended, finish where they did. And play a lot better for Finland than he's looked at times for the Nashville Predators. But really, really fun. It felt good to sweat out a hockey game again. It's been a while since I've cared that much about a hockey game.
Is this movie quality with this one?
I'd say so, yeah.
You say so? That's why I was
We
just
already got a movie
wondering,
about the basketball team 2 years ago.
We did?
Yeah. You not watched it on Netflix? There's like a 6-part documentary about
Oh, yeah, I did see
the U.S. team and that won in
That's on me.
Paris.
That's on me. Can we make it up? Because I feel like Savage going to be like, you should be watching this. So can we play
I'm
his
shocked
audio?
that you haven't,
I
honestly.
have not watched this. That's the one where KD is
It's the one where KD is like, how's that team chemistry going to work when you got to guard Steph?
Yeah.
Which is an iconic. That's a fantastic line. Which, by the way, it is pretty cool from the U.S. perspective that we go from the golden dagger against France in Paris from Steph Curry to the golden goal.
Yeah.
From Jack Hughes against Canada. Because that was the call from Noah Eagle when Steph Curry hit that crazy shot to put the dagger in against France. Said, the golden dagger. And this was golden goal for Team USA. It's pretty cool.
No doubt.
Well, speaking of Ron Slay, he had a great reaction.
You got to hear it.
To Tennessee and Vanderbilt over the weekend. Of course, you'll hear a lot more from Slay today from 3 to 6 on 3HL. This was Slay on social media on Saturday.
It looked like home to me. It looked like home to me. I know it's got a different shade, but look at that score. Look at that score. It looked like home to me. I got my compadres in the back.
Alyssa Lang.
Know. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. It's only one school in the SEC that got 2 homes. And that's the UT Volunteers. One down on West End and one up on Rocket Top. Come on. That's all I know.
Terrific.
It's a rivalry, and I said it. Now what? Just means more.
2 homes.
It just means more.
Tennessee won at their vacation home
It's going
over
to
the
be
weekend.
a big matchup on the 21st. Vols, you suck. Vandy's dad now. Shut it. Take that with you. I waited all this time just to get that out right there, Will.
I had one guy tweet at me and say, well, considering Vandy's owned you in sports the last 2 years, you finally won one. It's crazy what one football win does for,
my God.
does for a fan base.
One every 15 years.
Coming up, Nashville SC earned a dominant season opening win over the weekend. We'll tell you about it.
2
next.
homes in the SEC, 1 on West End and 1 on Rocket Top. Woo!
What's going on? It's Will Bowling. Brentwood Jewelry has had exceptional style and exceptional deals every day for over 50 years. Located in the heart of Brentwood, if you're looking for that engagement ring, looking for a nice gift, ladies, nice watches for the fellas as well, Brentwood Jewelry makes the process so easy for you. And when I was looking for an engagement ring for my now fiance, that was the thing that was important to me. Someone that could help me through a very nerve-wracking and important process. Brentwood Jewelry is family-owned and operated, and their business spans 3 generations. They are deeply rooted in the Middle Tennessee community, and for over 50 years, they've been proudly serving the Brentwood community with those exceptional styles, exceptional deals. When you walk in the door, you feel that kind of calmness, of peace that they're going to be able to bring you to some pretty big decisions, some big processes. BrentwoodJewelry.com is the website. Again, 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off of Franklin Road. Check them out online at BrentwoodJewelry.com. Exceptional styles, exceptional deals every day. That's Brentwood Jewelry for over 50 years.
faith with numbers. Blocked across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 miracle, the United States takes the gold.
7:01, good morning, live from the Circus Sports of the Mint Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. 46 years later, in USA men's hockey, our gold medalists once again. Jack Hughes nets the overtime winner, 141 into 3-on-3 overtime as the U.S. beat Canada 2-1 and take gold for the first time since 1980 Miracle on Ice, where the U.S. beat the Soviets in the semis and then Finland to take the gold medal. Canada controlled much of the game, but the USA goalie Connor Hellebuck made 41 saves in the win. And as the Olympics came to a close yesterday, the final medal tracker as Norway led the way with 41 medals, followed by the USA with 33, and host nation Italy had 30 medals. On Saturday, Nashville SC kicked off the MLS season at Geodis Park with a dominant 4-1 win over the New England Revolution. Sam Surridge scored twice, and Nashville secures the 3 points. And Saturday afternoon on West End, as the Tennessee Vols beat Vanderbilt in college hoops 69-65. Led by Jacoby Gillespie, 17 points, and the Vols out-rebounded the Commodores at 39-30. The Vols improved to 10-4, and Vanderbilt falls to 8-6 in SEC play. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into hour number 2 on this Monday morning. Hope you're having a good start to your day and a freezing Monday in Music City. Stoney Keeley stops by in 15 minutes previewing the NFL Combine. We're going to talk about most interesting prospects at the Combine. Coming up here with Stoney, our official Ramon and Will draft expert. Looking forward to that. And we'll get back to your phone calls as well, 615-737-1045. But, Ramon, we begin hour 2 with Nashville Soccer Club.
Oh, I thought you was going to say Tennessee basketball again. I wasn't done.
We just got done talking a whole hour about that.
Oh, okay.
We're not done yet.
Okay, all right.
We're just moving on for a little bit.
It's been a cool few months for them, that's all. But we're going to do Nashville SC because I'm into it as well, man. I turned it on because I got Apple TV Plus, and you told me you get it for free. So you know what I did? I clicked the app, went over, watched it with my dog, is what I'm telling you.
How much espresso have you had this morning?
Bro, listen, I'm rolling this morning.
It's clear and obvious.
I'm rolling this morning,
I'm not
man.
mad at it. Don't get me wrong.
Listen, I'm talking to my UT recruiting class, my 2004 class this morning. I got up at like 4:25 this morning, walked upstairs, hit the Peloton, got me a nice ride in, burned like 560-some calories this morning.
You got a good start this morning.
And we headed to the Y after this. The sauna's going to bring me back down, okay? I'm rolling. Let me
running
roll
through a wall back
this morning. Yes. And I got some coffee and some water, and it's good. Listen, I'm going to back up. It's on you now. I'm going to chill out. By the way,
I'm not mad at it.
Shout out to my folks at church, man, at Long Hollow Pike, man. By the way, I'm rolling. Give me 1 second.
No break.
Long Hollow. I went in this morning. I got a new title yesterday morning. It's like, hey, man, I've been meaning to stop you, man. It's like, you who I think you are? I was like, probably. You Ron Slay's brother, huh? I said, you know what?
Uh-oh.
Yes. Yes.
You used to be better than this. And he laughed and we joked and stuff, man. Got good word and also watched your hockey team win. And I was, well, do your thing. I'm going to back off. I'm geeked this morning. Let me chill.
Ready? No, I'm here
off.
for it. I'm here for it. Vibes are good this morning. Nashville SC 4-1 over the New England Revolution. Sam Surridge with 2 goals. Warren Magical with a goal and 2 assists in his MLS debut, and Hani Mukhtar found the back of the net as well. Brian Chwaki has now started 7 games in goal for NSC. He has 7 wins, which is phenomenal. Sam Surridge is the 4th active MLS player to record 10 multi-goal games in under 75 matches. He joins Lionel Messi, Denis Bouanga of LAFC, and Hani Mukhtar of Nashville as the only other players currently playing in MLS to get to 10 multi-goal games that quickly. Story of this game for me was the way Nashville attacked in the first half with their new signing, Warren Madrigal, who at 21 years of age is maybe playing a little bit out of position as Nashville's left winger in this match day 1 lineup. He's a little bit more of a striker and more of a Mukhtar kind of player in a lot of ways. He was absolutely terrific in this game. 7th player in MLS history to record 3 goal contributions in an MLS debut, and the youngest ever in the history of Major League Soccer to have 3 goal contributions, meaning goals and assists in an MLS debut. Terrific showing from Nashville SC, just all over New England from the very jump of this game, and it seems to be really fun.
As I told you, I turned it on too, and I'm looking at it just like New England. That's what we'll call them, New England Patriot Soccer. They they look lost. Like they looked like they had no answers whatsoever. Like, and it wasn't just like Nashville SC was attacking, like they were, but like they took advantage of them. And that's where I'm like thinking to myself, like, is it because it's colder here, or it's just you're really reserving this because it's the early part of the season? Because Nashville SC jumped out quickly.
New head coach for New England. 3 of the 4 members of their starting back line were injured. So they had 3 backups in their back line as well. But credit to Nashville for taking advantage of it and for putting on the pressure, to your point. You're right. I mean, Nashville forced some mistakes.
Yeah.
And they were clinical when they were given chances. That was the big thing for NSC. Their finishing ability, once they got in the box and had big opportunities, was outstanding in this game.
Why is it abnormal for Warren to be, I guess, this productive? Is it because of his age?
He's brand new. He's never played in Major League Soccer before. Comes over from Saprissa out of Costa Rica, a solid Costa Rican team. He's played for the Costa Rican national team, and BJ Callahan loves this guy.
Really?
I mean, he loves his team overall. I think BJ loves a lot of players on this team, but I don't think BJ's been surprised at all from the meeting I had with him before the game about just how quickly Warren Madrigal has stepped in and hit the ground running. In training, in preseason, I think he turned some heads, and he earned the ability to start match day 1 and start the Champions Cup game, too, on last Tuesday against Ottawa. He is going to be a player that Nashville fans really grow to love. And I think they already love him with how he played over the weekend. It is hard for players to come right in and have an immediate impact in this league. MLS has very unique travel challenges. Some of the style of play, the physicality, and the kind of defending that is allowed in MLS is different from a lot of the world. So oftentimes it takes players a really long time, especially at 21 years old, to come in and have the kind of impact and have the kind of game that Warren had on his first ever MLS appearance for Nashville SC.
So this is where we spoke last week about BJ Callahan and Nashville SC. You remember you were saying, like, at a point in time, you will know what a Nashville SC player looked like. Is this what Warren Madrigal is?
It's a great question. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And that profile has always existed. Mike Jacobs, the general manager, talks a lot about NSC DNA. They have a type. They always have. That type has just evolved now to maybe include more players and include young players. This team wants to play young players and give them opportunities. They are putting their money where their mouth is on that. In that, hey, if you're 21 years old and you perform in training, we're going to give you the same platform to start and showcase your skills as the veteran that maybe on paper had this role to begin with. And that's not thinking of just Madrigal. Like, I'm not thinking of one veteran. Like, I'm thinking of just a ton of roster decisions and lineup decisions that BJ's had to make. But they have a no jerks policy, for lack of a better term. They have always had good culture locker room guys. And when I interviewed Hani Mukhtar for our pregame show, I asked him about the new defender, Maxwell Weleji, who had a fun debut as well. He said, first of all, what a guy. He is a great guy, a great person, a great leader. Dan Lovitz was asked in the press conference before the game about Maxwell as well. And again, first thing he says before he talks about the players, just what a dude, what a human. Like, this guy is just, he loves coming to work every day. He loves being a part of this team. So I asked BJ in my meeting with him in our production meeting, like, how much or how far do you have to go to scout people versus the players? And they've made that a really big point of emphasis, to talk with coaches, talk with teammates, talk with people in leagues about, hey, like, who is this guy? Who's the person? And Nashville's always had a really good culture. And I told you last week, like, their highly paid headliner players aren't taking vet days or rest days.
They're in it.
They are training as hard, if not harder, than everyone else on the team. that's not something you can take for granted in this league.
That's dope, man. Michael in our YouTube chat says Madrigal and Espinoza on the wings are going to feed families.
It's going to be really fun. It's going to be really, really fun.
Is it? That's dope, man, considering Nashville SC. I remember just watching it kind of build up to where it is now. And then you get the stadium and watch all of this come together. Like, I will say that is a part of why you build a nice stadium. You want it to be a home field advantage. And it's looking like they're turned it in the right direction, man, especially with them getting a championship last year as well. Like, this is just a pileup, and you're a part of that. That's got to be awesome for you.
Let's go to the phone, 615-737-1045. Cody is in Nashville. What's up, Cody?
Hey, guys. I would love to talk about the onion-cutting moment that happened in the Olympics when they brought out Johnny Gaudreau's kids onto the ice for the gold medal Olympic photo.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, longtime hockey fan from Wisconsin originally before I moved down here and played it all throughout high school into college. And, I mean, even, Tirico himself was trying to hold back tears talking about it. I mean, that just shows the brotherhood of what that team really came into. But I'll hang up and listen to you guys. Thanks.
Thanks, Cody. Yeah, allergies were acting up big time.
They were.
When they brought the Gaudreau kids onto the ice. That is a beautiful, beautiful moment. So, again, if you're unfamiliar, Johnny Matthew Gaudreau died in a car crash. Johnny would have been on this team.
Wow.
Would have been one of the better players on this team. And the team, after they took the initial gold medal photo, brought his kids on the ice with him. And,
I remember this happening.
Man.
Drunk driving.
Really, really emotional moment for a lot of people.
That's tough. Yeah, I'm sure they, of course, give medals to his family and remembrance of him as well, too.
I don't know if you can give medals, but, I mean,
I would expect so.
USA Hockey, I mean, I think that's out of maybe the U.S.'s control. I don't know.
Okay.
But USA Hockey had told his family there was a very strong chance he was going to be on this team.
Wow.
To give them that, kind of piece at the end of this to say, hey, he would have been right here with us. He would have been one of the better players on the team.
Yeah.
As well. Matthew Tkachuk, who played with him in Calgary, very close with him and very close with his family still to this day, but look, Cody makes a good point. I mean, that team is a brotherhood, and they love their country, and they love playing together. They love each other, and you could tell by the way they carried themselves the whole week.
Yeah, Daryl, it was he and his brother. That's wild to me. Tough.
Yeah, back in 2024. But every member of that hockey team yesterday mentioned Gaudreau. They took his jersey. They did the little solo skate, panned to his family, shed a tear.
Yeah, definitely. Stoney Keeley joins us coming up. NFL Combine is upon us. Who are the most interesting players who need to test well, interview well, the measurables, the medicals? We'll dive into all of it with Stoney Keeley coming up next.
Synergex and Low T Center have been highlighted for having the highest quality testosterone on the market. They only use pharmaceutical-grade testosterone, if you was wondering. Never compounded testosterone, so you know what's going inside of your body. So don't settle for compounded mystery testosterone. Go with the safer, smoother TRT with real human providers. At Synergex and Low T Center, they dose their TRT more frequently than most other clinics to make sure your testosterone levels are always optimal and don't dip below the baseline that you need to be to perform your best and feel good about yourself, man. This keeps your TRT smooth and keeps side effects in check as well. They also stay on top of your health with regular medical testing so you can make sure your TRT is always safe, man. All providers on board are on board with them are board certified and experts in their field, not some random provider that you never actually get a chance to see. They ask the right questions to you, the right things to look for in your charts, and the right test to keep your TRT smooth and manage side effects, as I just told you. They're good at what they do. TRT can help with so many different things, man, from healing, muscle tones, recovery, sleep, weight loss, and even hair and skin quality as well. So head over to Synergex and Low T Center, man, as quick as you possibly can. You can go to one of the centers or go online to getmyhealthfix.com. That's getmyhealthfix.com.
What's going on? It's Will Bowling. Are you dealing with flickering lights, faulty outlets, or a circuit that won't stay on at home? Lee Company has your back. Lee Company's award-winning team of electricians handle it all, from routine repairs and fixture upgrades to whole home generators. Maybe you're still thinking about that storm a couple of weeks ago where you were without power for a couple of days. You were going through it. Your appliances aren't staying on. You can't keep your devices charged. Well, whole home generators can help, and Lee Company, that is one of the many things that they can do to help you stay comfy and keep everything working the way that it's supposed to in your home. Available 24/7. Keep your home efficient and safe by contacting Lee Company online. Head online to leecompany.com. That's leecompany.com for professional electrical service. Lee Company, all you need. NFL Combine Week is here. Isn't it so nice, the NFL, to give us like 2 weeks off until they throw a major event at us again?
That's exactly what it is.
Here we go again. I'm headed up to Indy after the show today. Looking forward to being there with Titans Radio and our entire crew to bring you some great content. Joining us right now, some great content. Because Tony Keeley is here to talk about the NFL Combine and talk some draft with us. Tony, good morning. How are we doing?
Morning, boys. We're doing pretty well this morning. I will say I got to have some of that go-go juice that Ramon has been on this morning, because I got these cats running around this house. Woke me up at 4:30 this morning. I couldn't go back to sleep, so I'm dragging a little bit. I need to get on whatever he's on.
You want to hear what's crazy about cats? I crank up my truck this morning to walk out to, warm it up and everything. I get to the door side of my vehicle. One fat cat just runs from underneath my truck, and I'm just like, if your kitten's under here, this V8 supercharger about to do some crazy stuff to it. Might want to not be underneath my truck, Stoney. So I also got jump scared by that this morning as well. Like, listen, those 720 horses will make mince meat, okay? So you better not be underneath my truck.
These cats, they try to get in where they fit in, so you got to keep an eye out for them. Head on a swivel.
This one wasn't no small cat either, Stoney. This was a big boy.
Garfield.
I'm telling you.
You sure it wasn't a turkey? It ain't turkey season anymore, is it?
I thought it was a bobcat, being real with you. This thing was huge.
Jump scare. No wonder you woke up so quick and so alert.
I'm going to calm down at some point. It just ain't now.
You know what? We don't want you to. It's Tony Keeley with us, previewing the NFL Combine. All right, so we're going to look at some of these players, Tony, that we talked about yesterday, who you are most interested to watch at the Combine. I want to start with a pair of receivers, Carnell Tate out of Ohio State and Denzel Boston from Washington. What value could they add, Stoney, at the NFL Combine this week?
Yeah, these are two guys that I think could be in play for the Titans. Either Tate at 4 seems to be a popular mock pick among Titans fans, or Denzel Boston right there at 35 maybe. Both of these guys fill a need, and really this receiving class as a whole has so many questions that I think we're going to start to unravel this week at the Combine. We'll get into some of those other names, but there are some question marks when I watch the tape on both of these guys. Carnell Tate, I can't get to where a lot of the other draft experts are with him. I see the catch radius. I see the length, the hands. He's a ball winner. I see the smooth route running ability. I don't know that he's got as robust of a route tree as others may suggest, but I can see the vision. My problem with Carnell Tate is that he doesn't seem to have that second gear. When he's got a guy draped all over him, he can't just run away from somebody. He's not a real yards after catch guy. Now, I think it ties into a similar problem that Denzel Boston has, where Boston is kind of a byproduct of that offense, where you might watch some games and it's a whole lot of him running 10 yards up the field and blocking a receiver. Then you watch other games and it's like 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think he's got a great frame. He is a ball winner as well. I think he's kind of underrated for his ability to get a defensive back out of position. There's a touchdown in the Washington State game that comes to mind right away where he gets upfield and then he fakes in, gets the defensive back to jump, and then he breaks back out, springs wide open for a touchdown. But it's a similar conversation about separation with him. Now, I watched Denzel Boston, and I think there's a lot of instances on his tape where he's having to slow down because the ball is thrown behind him. And Zach and I were talking about this on Football and Other F Words last week. Zach thinks that there's a lot of that on Carnell Tate's tape as well. So how do you factor that into the evaluation, right? That becomes the question where, well, we're not really seeing him turn out on the jets and get upfield because he's constantly having to come back and play to the ball. So maybe it's not that the separation skills aren't there. It's that we just haven't seen them yet. And so this week is going to provide these guys an opportunity to go out there and just show how fast they can run. And for me, for a team that needs receivers, we're splitting hairs maybe, but we got to do our due diligence on this class because I think the Titans need a couple guys from it.
Stoney Keeley, football and other F words, where you get him on the 104.5 The Zone podcast network. Our guest this morning on Ramon and Will. With Denzel Boston and Carnell Tate, too, Stoney, it does feel like their evaluations differ in one big way because Carnell Tate being kind of a wide receiver 2 behind Jeremiah Smith, coupled with Denzel Boston being the guy in Washington, it brings up an interesting kind of mix of, well, what about the guys around them? And sometimes you do have guys like Brian Thomas Jr. who can step in and say, hey, I was just stuck behind other generational talents at wide receiver. I can play. I'm curious how much you factor that in, Stoney, to the evaluation of these two guys, because Denzel Boston really had a big coming out party in 2024. Then he became the go-to guy. And then that production dipped a little bit at the end of the 2024 season, heading into his draft eligible year this past year. Do you care about that for either of these two guys who are kind of on opposite ends of the spectrum with that?
It doesn't weigh too heavily into my evaluation because, I mean, so much of my tape study is like just watching the matchup.
Sure.
So where I do think it would come into play is if you're watching the Ohio State tape and Carnell Tate looks dominant because he's going up against the number 2 cornerback all game instead of, the number 1. Like I equate it to like you're playing Tennessee. You're not going up against Jermod McCoy in 2024. Jeremiah Smith is going up against Jermod McCoy in 2024. So that's where I'm not really looking for the production as much as I'm just looking for the matchup. So it depends. Like I am paying attention to how teams treat these guys. And so there is a part of it that's like, oh, well, they've got to have their best guy on Carnell Tate, or they don't have to have their best guy on Carnell Tate. It's a little factoid in the eval, but I don't think it's I think that can be a little overblown at time because there's plenty of talent to go around in the college game. With Denzel Boston, it's clear. I'll live with Carnell Tate. The questions being, well, where is he in the pecking order? For Denzel Boston, I think the offensive line at Washington was so bad, the quarterback play was so bad that I think that is a situation where his surroundings do kind of swing the other way in his favor, if that makes sense.
We're joined by our good friend Stoney Keeley this morning discussing some combine prospects. Stoney, who ends up on the all freaks list as far as athletes go, man? Ruben Bain, Arvell Reese, or David Bailey at the end of the day? Because all these guys got some negative and a lot of positive. Or where do you start looking at tape versus measurements, man?
Yeah, I'm really excited to see the measurables come in on Ruben Bain so maybe we can stop talking about this arm length stuff. I told you guys last week I'm not a big fan of the arm length conversation, but there have been some reports out there about the accuracy, inaccuracy of these measurements that have been going around on Bain. Some people think that his arms are going to be perfectly fine. Others are still concerned about it. I'm just excited to get it over with. As far as the freaks list stuff goes, it's hard not to say Arvell Reese just because he has the twitch that I don't think either of these other two guys have. Mm-hmm. I'm curious to see how David Bailey stacks up because I think he's a good combine away from really soaring into that top 5, top 10 caliber lock, because the big criticism of Bailey from folks watching his tape is like, he's a little stiff, doesn't have the best change of direction. He has straight line burst and power, straight line speed, but this isn't a guy that's going to go, mirror a guy at the edge and say he's a little stiff in the lower body, the ankle flexion, all that technical stuff. But I think if he goes out there and really knocks out the agility testing, I think he can be the guy that you look at and say, well, this is a freak right here. Yeah. He is a lock for the top 5, top 10. But, that's still based on projection. And from what I've seen on tape so far, I think Arvell Reese is going to be that guy that everybody's going to look at the speed and the power, and they're going to say this dude was put on this planet to rush the passer.
No doubt about it, man. It's going to be fascinating. Again, like you said, everybody's going to be watching Ruben Bain, and that for sure is a guy that I got my eye on. Another one as well who I thought was a bona fide first round, and heck, he may be, Stoney, just to transition, to the trenches just a little bit. Caden Proctor, the Alabama left tackle who left and came back, and he's got over 500 bottles of cologne in his collection. Okay, he smells good. How has his descent actually happened, Stoney, and what can he do to improve it? Because he's a big guy. I see him, if he could go to guard. I'm always trying to place a guy at guard, but how do you view him and his tape?
Yeah, so Ramon, I've been saying this guard class is a pretty solid class just by virtue of the number of guys that played tackle in college that are probably going to kick inside to guard at the next level. So Proctor is one of those guys for me. I'm not quite sure where things went sideways. Again, you get into the interview process, you get to know the kid, these things tend to come out. But something happened with Caden Proctor in 2025 where I don't feel like he played to his athletic potential. Mm-hmm. Now, the thing that's going to come into play for him is his weight and how teams view it, because this is a massive individual. Yes. And there are moments on tape when he uses that frame combined with athleticism for a guy that big. He leverages it well to make a play. And you watch it and you're like, holy smokes, this guy can go. But then there are other times when, to be as big and athletic as he is, he's a little wobbly. He's on the ground. And there's inconsistent technique issues. There's inconsistency with the being in the right spot at the right time kind of stuff. If I could sum it up in a word, 2025 was quite inconsistent for Caden Proctor. Now, I think going into the combine, he does have a chance for, teams to get to know him a little bit. He's going to work out. We're going to see what his weight is. I think that's the big question about him heading into this week. And then from there, we're going to kind of see, do teams view him as a guard, or is he going to get a shot at tackle? Right now, based on the 2025 tape alone, I would say he kind of projects as a guard, where I think he's going to be able to use his size and not have to get out in space, mirror guys at the edge, dance with dudes. I see him more as a phone booth kind of offensive lineman right now.
I love that.
Stoney Keeley, our draft expert, with us on Ramon and Will. Stoney, how will the measurables impact Makai Lemon's draft stock this week?
Well, it's funny, Will. He's another guy that maybe in a trade down situation, Titans fans should keep their eyes out for, because he's a fun wide receiver, runs away from his guy, can line up anywhere across the formation. Just a good ball player. Fits the mold of that slot receiver, but people are wanting to call him Amon-Ra St. Brown, who was 6 foot, 202 pounds. Now, I get the idea, the comp is not a one-for-one sort of thing. There's a gray area for it, but if you're looking for that comp, if you're looking for that style of wide receiver, Makai Lemon is listed on the team website at 5'11", 195. So it's not too far off from the Amon-Ra St. Brown comp. But I will tell you, in case any of your listeners haven't heard this before, the team websites ain't exactly the purest form of truth. Okay, so going to the combine, getting those measurables, I think that's going to be crucial for him, because teams want to see, is he as big and stocky as he claims to be? And if so, hey, his stock's probably going to soar after this week as well. If not, I think you're looking at a bit of a slide for him, because teams don't want to draft the outliers, especially at this position. They don't want to draft the outliers very high. And I'm just saying, looking at the eye test, I look at Makai Lemon, I watch his tape, I love his tape, but he doesn't look like a 5'11", 195-pound guy to me. So he's another guy, like we talked about with Bain earlier. I'm really curious to get the concrete measurements down so that we can kind of have a more honest conversation about the prospect. And Mekhi Lemon is a prospect that I like a lot. If he doesn't measure well, if he doesn't test well this week, I'm really curious to see if he could slide far enough to be in play for the Titans at 35 there.
Stoney, man, just to get to some Vols-ish type stuff. 2 corners, man, can go first round, maybe 3, maybe 4. But Mansour Delane and specifically Jamon McCoy, how do you see these 2 dudes stacking up, considering McCoy is most definitely coming off this ACL? But do we see top 15, top 10 in these guys, or where you kind of place them after the measurements?
Yeah, I mean, Mansour Delane is a guy that probably needs to prove he can run really well too, because I think that's the one weakness I found in his game watching his tape so far is that some of the speedier guys like KC Concepcion and that Texas A&M offense, some of those guys could run past him, and it wasn't that he was beaten so badly it was embarrassing or anything like that, but you see, like, he hits a certain wall in recovery when he's trying to get back to the receiver and he can't quite run fast enough to get back to him. You see the deep speed, the long speed come into question there for Mansour Delane. Outside of that, he's a sticky guy that, you know, I had Bert texting me yesterday telling me, or asking me, like, is Mansour Delane the most boring watch in this draft class? And I laughed, but he's got a point, because I think he said that Alabama threw to Delane maybe twice the entire game. He's a lockdown guy, very smooth, fluid athlete, very instinctual. I think the question with him is going to be long speed, which is something that he can answer kind of this week at the Combine. As for Jermod McCoy, Ramon, I'm not even worried about the ACL injury as much, because we see guys come back from those all the time, and I know, like, corner is a position you're going to be running a lot, so pretty important to have healthy ACLs there. I get that, but it's more about the year off from football for me. Like, we haven't seen too many examples of guys walking away for that amount of time and then coming back and being as good as they were before. So he's another guy, like, I don't know how much he's planning to do at the Combine or what, but I want to see him run, because he is the athlete. He has that dynamic that Mansour Delane is lacking. He's played press, and he's looked good in it. He can tail, he can trail. You talk about the athleticism, the hip flip, all of that stuff. Like, I've said something crazy on this radio station before. I don't remember which show it was, but if we're going off 2024 alone, Jermod McCoy is a blue-chip player in this class, and he might have the best tape of anybody in this draft class. So this is where we kind of start to peel back the layers of the onion and find out all the rumors and innuendo that come out of the Combine. I'm excited to hear how teams view Jermod McCoy, because, man, if he answers those questions, and if he can come out swinging and show that he's anywhere close to his 2024 form, he's going to be a damn good player in the NFL.
He is Tony Keeley, a fantastic addition to our weekly lineup leading up to NFL draft coverage. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at Stoney Keeley, and make sure you subscribe to Football and Other F Words for him and our good friend Zach Lyons talking draft each and every week there as well. Excellent stuff as always, Stoney. Can't wait to recap it all with you next week.
Thank you, gentlemen. Hey, I've got an answer to Justin's question he asked me before we went on the air.
Okay.
Who's flying under the radar in this draft class?
Ooh.
I'm going to say a guy I'm sure we'll talk about on down the line, Jalen Farmer, the right guard out of Kentucky. If you haven't already, go watch this dude. He's the Terminator. All right. I'll leave you on that. Thanks, boys. Appreciate you. Let's go have us a Monday.
Yes, sir.
Hey, now.
There he is, Stoney Keeley with us here this morning. That is the best example of why Stoney is the Ramon and Will draft expert. Because when he's asked who is an underrated prospect, Ramon, he's going to a mid-level power 4 guard.
Yeah.
Not like, I would say Ty Simpson. Not like anyone's saying Ty Simpson's, under the radar, but like, we love Stoney.
Yeah, we do.
Great addition to our team.
Now get some homework, because that was my question.
Whose homework?
Huh?
Him giving me the player of the underrated guy.
Yeah.
That's now I have my homework, so I get to watch.
I got you.
I thought you was giving us some homework.
Well, you can go watch them too.
I am.
I got enough homework.
That's true.
615-737-1045. College football is doing something weird, Ramon. They're considering a change that fans would actually like. We'll tell you what the rule change is coming up next. Wrapping up hour 2 this morning on Ramon and Will. Belmont head coach Casey Alexander going to stop by at the top of the hour. Belmont winning the Missouri Valley regular season title over the weekend. We'll talk to Casey about that coming up in a few minutes. Targeting suspensions and pants length penalties, Ramon, could be changed as NCAA rules this week.
Targeting, wow.
According to multiple people briefed on discussions, multiple reports out there, The Athletic had this. The committee could propose to remove the carryover suspension part of the punishment for first-time offenders on second-half targeting penalties, leaving in place a 15-yard penalty and ejection. So, essentially, if you got a targeting penalty, Ramon, in the second half of a game, you would not be suspended for the first half of the next game if this rule does pass.
I thought that was kind of overkill. You're already removing a weapon from the game, no pun intended right there, but it's the carryover that changes game plans and team scheme up on you like that. I just thought, okay, well, if you're kicking them out, one, embarrassment enough. Two, you let down your team in that fashion as well. There's no need, in my personal opinion, just the suspension route in the last week's game never made any sense.
So that affected the national championship game this year, which I think is probably why it's being pushed to the front. Yeah. Miami corner Xavier Lucas was forced to sit out the first half against Indiana for a penalty that he committed in the Fiesta Bowl semifinal against Ole Miss. It makes a ton of sense. NCAA coordinator of officials Steve Shaw told The Athletic 2 years ago that targeting is, quote, saving our game. And officials note the number of targeting penalties called has been decreasing over the past several years. 0.27 per game in 2020, 0.14 the last time these numbers were made available in 2024. It is a very foundational penalty in that you are trying to teach and over-penalize something in college that you hope is eradicated by the time these guys become pros and by the time they also could just go pro in something other than sports, literally, and not have to deal with some of the brain injury ramifications part of it.
And that's what I'm going to say. It's twofold for me on this one. One is that side, the health and safety of the game as well, that you got to play with, and you don't want to be lawless as a college player and carry that over to the NFL as well. And that's the other side too for me, is those are fines in the NFL when it boils down to like the targeting and stuff like that. There's not many players that get ejected in the NFL. You just get a letter to your locker and say, hey, you're fined this amount of money because you're not playing the game a safe way. And that's where I think, that's why I've always thought the NCAA is always trying to have guys mature into pros. And that's one of those things that you have to be able to limit when it goes to the NFL, is those head-to-head and those types of fines that you can get to your team, get to your check at that point.
Right.
So, yeah, I do like how they're trying to go about being a safety, but legitimately, the ejections and suspension is overkill.
According to this report, there remains little to no support for backing off targeting itself or creating a two-tiered penalty system where some are ejected and some are not, as the Coaches Association proposed in 2019. So that's not happening. Targeting is very much staying. You just wouldn't be suspended for the first half of the next game if it happens in the second half. But with any penalty like that is so subjective, that's less cut and dry, there needs to be a little bit of grace given. And I agree that that's the proper way to do it. Who wears short shorts? College football players wear short shorts, Ramon.
Yeah, they do.
Shorty McShort Shorts hit some big field goals last year for Oklahoma against Tennessee. And Kirk Herbstreit, it's Tate Sandell for those unfamiliar, leaned into it saying that the NCAA should look into this being a penalty. Well, now they are. Another big point of focus of the meeting this week at the Combine for college football officials will be seldom enforced equipment rules, for which the Rules Committee might propose the threat of an actual game penalty. So these have always been rules. They're just never enforced. Like after Ezekiel Elliott lit the world on fire in 2015, they had a crop top rule. That doesn't ever get enforced. No. You've got guys wearing basically running shorts that I wore when I was a track athlete in college as football pants. And it sounds like they're fighting back.
They are. They need to. I'll be quite honest with you. I see even some of the offensive linemen with those shorts that are above the kneecap, and I'm just like, brother, like, I know it don't do a whole lot to save you from hard impactful injuries or hard impact injuries, but it does at least keep the bruises off your quads and stuff like that. And the other part to me is this. I'm a traditionalist when I come down to this stuff. I believe in swagging yourself out. If you want a little bit more black in your socks, you want to wear more wristbands or do something with your face mask. But here's the other side of it as well. This equipment is put out there to help protect you in some type of fashion. And the other part as well, this is at college level and in the NFL, this is your job. Everybody's got a dress code. This is your uniform. Wear it. Swag it up how you have to. But the fact that you got no knee pads, and I'll be real with you, I didn't wear them for a while until they started reinforcing them in the NFL. It makes zero sense why you don't have them in is what I found out. It doesn't really take away from your game or restrict you. If you're a lesser athlete and feel like I don't need these pads in to make me quicker, it don't help you much at all. This is your work uniform. There are parameters that are put in place for your safety, and that's a part of it as well. I'm with them on that, not just because of the Oklahoma kicker. It's just ridiculous, and these dudes pull up with looking like friggin' thigh monsters out there with their pants pulled all the way up and midway through the quads.
Yeah, it's an interesting look, and the rules officials say that it affects the placement of thigh pads and knee pads, which becomes a safety issue as well. It's one thing for a kicker to do it.
It is, but even more so now, like, this is not the 90s where you got the super thick thigh pads.
Right.
Like, you can just get the shell hard part of it and just slide it into the slots that it's supposed to be in. Like the thigh, like the knee pads I had weren't bigger than my fist. Like, you ain't got to get the big, I guess, cookie size, big ones, but like it's more attainable now to be comfortable.
Coming up next, Belmont basketball coach Casey Alexander, after his team won the Missouri Valley Conference regular season title over the weekend. He joins us after this.
It's Ramon Foster from Medical House Calls. Good people, it's healthcare designed for your life. Yes, specifically you. Whenever you need them, they'll show up. Wherever you are, they'll come to you. They're available to you 7 days a week. And I shouldn't say whenever, because they do have hours, because they have a life as well. So from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., that's before work or even after work for a lot of people, man. They can get to you. Same day appointments are available, next day guaranteed as well. And the thing is this, for a flat fee, you can get an evaluation, full exam, treatment plan, and prescriptions if you need it. The best part to me is it's concierge medicine on your time. Whether you work long days and can't get to the doctor's office on time, or you just haven't had the energy to go to urgent care, sit in the waiting room and just wait for doctors. Well, this way they can come to your house or wherever you're dwelling at and take care of you without any waiting as well. Sicknesses, infections, injuries, in-home labs, testing, and more. And as I told you before, you can even get prescriptions. These aren't just fly-by-night doctors or nurses. No, they're very certified, and they do really good work. I personally have had them at my house, and I promise you this is one of the best things I've done to kind of knock that sickness out. Again, the website is medicalhousecalls.com. You can call or text them at 615-838-2375, and make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you. It's Truck Month at Two Rivers Ford, and that means zero money down, zero financing, and zero payments for 90 days. But only at Two Rivers Ford do you get zero surprises and zero pressure. You see, Two Rivers Ford, they do things a little differently than most dealerships. For starters, they have a non-commissioned sales team, so their salespeople are paid whether you buy a truck or not. So I'm telling you, go ahead and ask all the questions you need. Take a test drive, check out the F-150, the Super Duty, the Maverick, the Ranger. Truck Month is all about you. And at Two Rivers Ford, you'll find find the real price online every time. They don't add a bunch of accessories or add-ons that you don't know about until you get to the dealership. No, they pride themselves on honesty and transparency like they have for over 4 decades. And by the way, Two Rivers Ford has one of the best inventories of Ford trucks in the Southeast. There's Ford Truck Month, and then there's Two Rivers Ford Truck Month. So get to the South's most trusted Ford dealer for the best prices of the year on the best-selling truck in America. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Local, honest, and real. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
.801, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. 46 years later in USA men's hockey, our gold medalist once again, Jack Hughes, nets the overtime winner 1 minute and 41 seconds into 3-on-3 overtime as the U.S. go on to beat Canada 2-1 and take gold for the first time since the 1980 Olympics, where the miracle on ice as the U.S. beat the Soviets in the semis and then Finland to take the gold medal. Canada controlled much of the game, but USA goaltender Connor Hellebuck made 41 saves in the win. As for the Olympics came to a close yesterday, the final medal tracker, Norway led the way with 41 medals, followed by the U.S. with 33, and host nation Italy took home 30. On Saturday night at Geodis Park, Nashville SC kicked off the MLS season with a dominant 4-1 win over New England Revolution. Sam Surridge scored twice in the first 16 minutes, and Nashville secures the 3 points. And Saturday afternoon, the Tennessee Vols beat Vanderbilt on West End in college hoops 69-65, led by Jacoby Gillespie, 17 points, and the Vols out-rebounded the Commodores 39-30. The Vols improved to 10-4, and Vanderbilt falls to 8-6 in SEC play. For all your foundation repair, waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show, and hour number 3, getting started on Ramon and Will. Welcome in. Good morning. Glad you are with us on a packed weekend in sports with hockey, with hoops, with some football to talk about as well.
Yes, sir.
615-737-1045 is our number. He's Ramon Foster. I'm Will Bowling. Going to be connecting with Belmont head coach Casey Alexander here in a matter of seconds. So looking forward to that. And looking forward to getting up to the Combine today.
Yes, sir.
Should be a fun week in Indy.
It'll be a nice ride up there, man. Is it supposed to snow much? I know New York and
I don't know.
Northeast got a whole lot of I think they're on a state of emergency right now with all the snow they're getting. I wasn't sure if Indy was getting it.
Look, when I see anything falling out of the sky, it is a state of emergency in my protocol. Joining us now is Belmont head coach Casey Alexander. The Belmont Bruins getting a win over Indiana State over the weekend on senior night to win the regular season Missouri Valley Crown. Coach, good morning. Congratulations. How are you?
Hey, good morning, guys. I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
Good.
We are good. What worked this weekend, Coach? 87-70 over Indiana State. What were you most proud of about this performance?
Just went about our business. There's a lot on the line, clearly. I was thinking about it right before the call. We start this process late May, early June, so and there's a lot more out there in front of us. But if we could write goals up on the wall, which we don't, conference championship would be the first one. So it's nice to cross that one off.
You guys defensively started really hot in this game. You limit Indiana State to just 31% shooting. How proud are you, Coach, of just the defensive performance of this team over the course of the entire season and the way that you guys, to conversations we've had throughout the year, both on here and on some of the ESPN Plus broadcast, Coach, have been able to kind of raise the level this season on the defensive end of the court?
It's been very important to our success. Anybody that follows our program would know that we're typically pretty good on the offensive end. And it doesn't mean we've been bad defensively, but we're so much more complementary this season. We can sustain ourselves on the defensive end when shots aren't falling. And that's just been so important to our overall success. Being able to win both ways makes things a lot easier.
We're joined by Belmont's head coach, basketball head coach, Casey Alexander. Coach, man, you came on here just real chill and humble about this, man. This your school, your university, man, has won 13 regular season conference championships as of late. The sense of pride in that has to be high with the guys that come through and yourself as well, man. You've been way too humble about this.
Yeah. Well, Ramon, that's 13 in 21 years, so that's a nice little return on investment there. But it's been dry a little bit lately. We joined the Missouri Valley, and it's an incredible step up from where we've been. And all of us, I think, had a right to wonder, like, how long is it going to take to be able to turn into a championship team again, playing at a higher level? And so there's some relief involved there, honestly, for me, just to be able to say, hey, we've done that. Now let's move on and let's quit talking about, if or when this is going to happen.
No doubt. And it seems that if or when, Coach, came around December 4th this past year. What switched for you guys, man, winning 12 of your last 13 games to get to this point in which you are regular season champs? Like, the focus of young athletes is always huge, but it's not necessarily pressure, but the lock-in from your group has to be immense. What switched for you around December?
Yeah, I don't know if there was a switch, but I do think that kind of the consistency of our group, the connectivity within our locker room, you can't make a run like that or build that kind of sustained success, without having the right kind of people in your locker room, that can make it through a tough loss or a bad practice, or some whatever other adversity comes your way, and our guys have done that, and it's extremely rare these days, and it's more difficult because, locker rooms these days, are full of brand new players, with the transfer portal. There's just so much turnover from year to year. We've stayed extraordinarily well connected, and it's been very important.
Belmont head coach Casey Alexander, our guest this morning on Ramon and Will. His Bruins clinching the Missouri Valley Conference Championship over the weekend. Coach, this league, as you know, is one where the top team or top teams year in and year out typically receiving some top 25 votes. That there's always that discussion of this maybe being a two-bid league. Is the at-large bid possibility, something your team is talking about. Is that on your radar at all, Coach, as you guys head into this final stretch of the season?
It's on the radar just because of the time of year that it is and bracketology and everybody that wants to talk about it. But have we discussed it as a group? Absolutely not. There's just not any reason to do so. I mean, we've got the opportunity in St. Louis next weekend to earn our way in with a conference tournament championship. So that's really all that we're focused on right now. And that's not just coach speak. There's no other way to go about it.
Coach, I've really enjoyed watching Jack Smiley's development this season as a freshman from Valparaiso, Indiana, who knows this conference, who grew up watching this conference, leads 4 Belmont players at double figures with 18 points over the weekend. When you were recruiting him, did you see this amount of instant impact for Jack as a freshman? And what do you like the most about coaching him and the impact he's had on your team this year?
Yeah, I liked Jack when we signed him, of course, but it's pretty foolish to predict that a freshman's going to come in and have that kind of impact. But he was tremendous this weekend, and our previous game at Murray last Sunday has 19 in the second half.
Right.
It really flips that game. And, what's been amazing about it is we lose Nick McLean, who's our starting point guard and an all-conference player right around January 1st. And so we have to thrust Jack and Isaiah West into roles that they're capable of, but they weren't in at the time. And so to see him kind of, take on the extended minutes and the extra importance as a true freshman point guard, and then not only just help us survive, but he has thrived with the opportunity, and he's made us a better team.
And, Coach, it seems to me you have the ability to just find guys that are going to be necessary for your team. Man, you mentioned Isaiah West. I remember him coming out of Springfield, I think Good Pasture as well, man, and the local ties to him and how you guys have guys from across the state. The pride you have in being able to reach those guys and bring them into Belmont, and Coach, to research their careers got to be something that you take a whole lot of pride in as well, right?
Yeah, but it's Belmont that attracts the guys like that. We know who we are. We've been good for a long time, and we have, the way that we do it is not the only way to do it. There are a lot of great programs out there who are different than us, but we know what the formula is here. We try as hard as we can to stick to that and to find guys who are attracted to that. And that's why we've been able to remain relevant throughout the course of time. It's just knowing who we are and sticking to the script.
20-plus wins this season, Coach. What's the next step for them as far as going into their tournament? Because regular season is cool, but postseason, Coach, is a different level. How do you get the message across as far as that goes, too? Because 20-plus wins, you feel like you're invincible almost.
Well, I don't know about that, but I think our players, they're fully aware, first of all, of what's at stake and what it's going to take to go win 3 games in 3 days in St. Louis in this league. Whoever comes out of that tournament with a championship will be well prepared for the NCAA tournament. But at the same time, like what's happened from the beginning until now is of very little consequence. I've said it several times. You could take the top 8 teams in the league and put them in a hat and draw their seeds out of a hat, and I don't think anybody would care. It's literally that close from 1 to 8, if not more. So you gotta hoss up and win games, no matter what you did in the regular season.
Casey Alexander, Belmont head coach, men's basketball, our guest. Casey, when you just look at the broad point of view, and I know you touched on it briefly at the beginning of this interview, but just how this program gets to the point where it can be at the top of the Missouri Valley Conference. That is no small feat whatsoever. Just looking from that 30,000-foot view, what went into the elevation of Belmont basketball as a whole to, in such a short amount of time, climb the ladder in a conference that has got a lot of programs that invest a lot of money and resources and have a lot of fan backing like you guys do in the Missouri Valley Conference?
Yeah, one thing I would say is we're still very deficient in a lot of ways. Bradley and Illinois State, for example, they had 11,000 at their game this past Saturday. That's a different animal. And so we've got some catching up to do in a lot of ways. But Belmont gives us the ability, in so many ways, to recruit great people and great kids. Nashville itself is something that nobody else in the league has. We're a tremendous school, great community of people. We've got awesome facilities. We got great winning tradition. It's pretty predictable. Like nobody can just walk out there and say they're going to win 20-plus games every year. But at the same time, there's a track record that said, hey, you probably will, so there's still plenty of things that we can recruit great players to Belmont for. And as long as we don't screw it up, we'll have a chance.
Casey Alexander, Belmont head coach, our guest this morning. Belmont and Evansville Wednesday from the Curb Event Center. Your last chance to see this team play here in the Curb this season. Coach, best of luck as you go forward into these final 2 games into tournament play. Appreciate the time as always.
Most definitely.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Enjoy it.
Congrats, Coach.
Yes, sir. All right. There's Casey Alexander with us here this morning talking to Belmont Hoops.
I love when coaches get on and they just go to the next day. Winning championships is cool, or, conference, whatever the case may be. And this next step, man, sports keep you locked in, but that's a big feat for them.
That's how you got to do it.
It is.
No doubt. Coming up, Joey Aguilar gets bad news from the courts over the weekend. One of the few losses Tennessee took over the weekend. We'll talk about that coming up next. Selling your first home can feel overwhelming, especially when you're not sure what to expect. But for Blake, the experience was anything but stressful once Bernie Gallerani Real Estate got involved. Hey, it's Will Bowling. As first-time home sellers, Blake and his family needed guidance, clarity, and a team that would take the time to explain every step along the way. From day one, Bernie Gallerani Real Estate made the process simple and easy to understand. They answered questions quickly and worked around a busy schedule to make sure nothing felt rushed or confusing. With deep local market knowledge and a hands-on approach, the entire experience was smooth, organized, and stress-free. So if you're like Blake, you're selling your home for the first time or the 10th and want a real estate team that truly puts you at ease, call Bernie Gallerani Real Estate today and make your next move with confidence. Bernie Gallerani is the real estate agent with the 30-day guarantee. He sells your home in 30 days or less, or he buys it from you. 615-428-2644. Online at BernieGallerani.com. That's 615-428-2644. Monday morning on Ramon and Will, NFL Combine Week up in Indianapolis. I'll be headed up there after the show today. And I might see Joey Aguilar there, Ramon.
Yeah.
Because he lost his injunction case. Judge Chris Haggerty ruling in favor of the NCAA in Joey Aguilar's lawsuit seeking an injunction and another year of eligibility. Him and his legal team have 30 days to appeal the ruling.
Mm-hmm.
For Ramon, the timeline on an appeal being heard is typically 6 months to a year, according to lawyers VolQuest spoke with over the weekend. The timeline makes any kind of appeal win very unlikely for the 2026 season. You were not surprised to learn the verdict for Joey over the weekend, were you?
No, I was not. I figured it'd go this way. Being in those type of situations that the judge was in, Judge Haggerty, it weighed heavy on him. You could tell. I've never met him, never talked to him, but I could tell with how he broke and what this meant to him and all the outside parameters that kind of went into it. This time wasn't a good thing for Joey Aguilar. This time wasn't a good thing for that decision to go in a way that he could have instantly made $2.5 million, allegedly, or I guess what was proposed to be.
Yeah, that was in the court documents. I think that's legit.
But I think it's also a great step for college football moving in the right direction. It's an amazing opportunity for George McIntyre and Faison Brandon to kind of get some clarity about what their futures are as well, because as much as we are clamoring for Joey Aguilar being a part of this 2026 Vols football season, there are two guys that are waiting in the wham. Ron Staub involved in that as well, the backup quarterback. But the fairness, and sports ain't fair sometimes. The fairness to George, who's been there and been grinding and thought it was his time, wasn't there. And I'm glad to kind of see it go in his favor for once. So now they can focus this 2026 season on developing these young guys.
So Joey Aguilar will try to find his way to an NFL camp if he wants to continue playing football. And Tennessee has a quarterback room, to your point, of Colorado transfer Ryan Staub, redshirt freshman George McIntyre, and true freshman Faison Brandon, who are in the mix. Quite honestly, I wasn't shocked either on the court decision, simply because of the ramifications of Judge Haggerty's decision. And it appears to me like that weighed heavily within all of this. The consequences that are very far-reaching of Judge Chris Haggerty giving Joey Aguilar another season are too big for something that's just a preliminary injunction in a circuit court. Because then all of a sudden it opens up Pandora's box for a number of players to just say, well, I have a right to earn. So who cares what your NCAA rules are? Now I want to keep playing. And that goes beyond just the JUCO years that were counted or not counted. It goes beyond a medical red shirt that Trinidad Chambliss is or isn't given. That just comes down to, like, do I want to keep playing and can I earn more money? Like, was I a late bloomer? Now, all of a sudden, a bunch of late bloomers that didn't have the opportunity to earn millions of dollars early in the season, maybe then have the ability to have a door cracked that they can walk through and just say, well, let me just go to the, I don't know, Boise, Idaho court if I want to keep playing for Boise State. Like, it's just all around the country. This was a preliminary injunction that is supposed to be a smaller type of decision, the way I understand it. Not a big national court, not some regional. Like, this is just Knoxville court.
It was.
It's kind of local. And I think that it was a really, really big call for Chris Haggerty to make, and the easier route is to just say no.
It was. And to me, this, like I said, it's two versions of ourselves that we got to live with. It's the spring side where we've been very thoughtful and say, yes, this is the right thing for the sport, for the game, and Joey should go to the NFL or take his shot at the next level, whatever the case may be, because he got a combine invite. That in itself, was always the stamp of, man, I got an opportunity to go to the next level, and that's beautiful for him. When I got my invite, it was by far one of the coolest things I ever thought, because it made me think in my mind, I belong in that level that they want to come see and interview me. And this still is one of the biggest events ever. There's our Big Bert boss. Bert is super excited about this. That is number one. The second part is our fall versions of ourselves. We got to live a Heupel. I'm going to put this on Coach Heupel. and Joey Halsley, they got to live with the idea that you can't rely upon a veteran. You got to coach. You got to develop. You got to teach. And you also got to face the consequences of wins and losses with a redshirt freshman at quarterback. This, to me, was the ways of operating. It was. Like watching EA played as a redshirt freshman.
EA being Eric Ainge, for those who don't know.
This was the pathway. I don't know if college football is ever going to get back to that point, because here's the other side as we watch teams lightly or in our face build super teams. LSU, your Texas, Ohio State's been running this way for a while, but we're watching Miami and others find themselves in a position where they do not want to end up like Dabo Swinney, who's saying, I'm doing this the right way. I'm using high school athletes. I'm developing them. And then you play in the New York Yankees Bowl in New York City.
Right.
No, you're trying to play in that college football playoffs. And that's the balance where I think we as fans, and I was talking to my wife about this, like if I was Josh Heupel and I got this $9.5 million salary and I want to continue to have that, those coaches recognize veteran players is what keep them employed by winning football games, because they do know that. We're fine with this now in the spring, but the fall comes around and the Vols go 6-6. Let's keep the same energy for we want George, we want Faison, and let him develop them, because freshmen playing, Will, to your point, mine as well, there's a lot of bumps in the road that will happen.
Sure. So now it becomes a three-man quarterback race, I would say with two as the favorites. I mean, it's between George McIntyre and Faison Brandon.
Yeah.
Ryan Staub was brought in, I think, to be a backup quarterback.
That's why Merklinger left. He knew what it was.
Yeah, Jake Merklinger left in the transfer portal to get an opportunity to play. You brought in Ryan Staub, in my opinion, to be the backup quarterback. Mm-hmm. So now you move forward, and now Tennessee is tasked with doing something that Josh Heupel teams have done. Play an inexperienced quarterback. Tennessee made the college football playoff with Nico Iamaleava at quarterback. Really with Dylan Sampson at running back and with a good defense on the other side. But with a redshirt freshman, Nico Iamaleava as starter. At Missouri, for Josh Heupel, Drew Lock was a starter in his second year. And at UCF, Dylan Gabriel started his freshman year. Now, that was due to injury. Mm-hmm. Kinsey Milton got hurt. But Dylan Gabriel played very early into his career as a true freshman for Josh Heupel. George McIntyre this season played in 2 games, was 7 for 9 passing for 69 yards. Ryan Staub threw for 427 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. How confident are you, Ramon, that George McIntyre is going to be the starting quarterback for Tennessee week 1 of 2026?
I say very confident. George can play. He's got the arm for it. I know we keep bringing up the development side or his weight when it boils down to can he sustain in this league. But I've seen guys be overweight and underweight perform at a high level. On Saturdays, all that'll matter won't be his weight. It'll be can he sling that football around and can he protect himself. Those two things right there are part of his game. He's always been slight in size when it comes down to his body, and he's 6'6", 6'7". He's that type of height, so him being 200 pounds, 215 is going to look frail regardless. It's a matter of him taking care of himself. The talent is there. You've seen him. I've seen him. We've watched the tape. And I told you a couple of weeks ago, I was listening to Knoxville radio discussing his high school stats and the records that he had. He had one really good year, and that really good year, according to our research department, was
me.
An offense.
As you point to me, for people who aren't watching on Zone TV.
I was pointing to Will, our research department, Will Bowling, filled me in even at the time that this offensive coordinator was at Brentwood Academy. This is the same style of offense that George ran at BA that the Vols run currently.
In 2022.
And that's the most productive that he had. And the other context, too, that hasn't been added for the people that will stat search when it comes down to it as well. How many coordinators or coaches did he have at Brentwood Academy before he graduated? 3?
3 head coaches and I believe 3 coordinators in his 3 years. Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into all of that change. That's one of the things we speak about from a professional sense. keeping Cam in the same offense and not continually changing as well. We got to add context to this type of stuff, and it does matter.
In his first year as a starter to that point, Brentwood Academy went 9-3 in 2022, lost on a very close call at the end to Baylor at home in the D2 AAA state semifinal, 44-39. He completed 65% of his passes as a sophomore for 2,300 yards, 19 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. They were not nearly as good in 2023 as a team. Brentwood Academy was 2-10 under a coach that was there for just that one season. Still, his numbers were not terrible by any stretch of the imagination. George completed 67% of his passes, 3,200 yards, 25 touchdowns, 12 picks, had more turnovers in that 2023 season. He did at one point have basketball offers from Arizona State and FIU.
Oh, he was hoping.
Absolutely he was.
Yeah.
Absolutely he was. And won a state title as a basketball player as a sophomore as well with Vanderbilt point guard Tyler Tanner. Those two grew up playing basketball together and I think are still close friends. The thing on George is the scheme fit really works. George McIntyre throws a beautiful deep ball. Under head coach Paul Wade in his senior year, Coach Wade's first season, Coach Wade told me they adjusted a lot of what they wanted to do for George, and rightfully so. He's a 5-star quarterback. And a Paul Wade offense, if you're familiar with the old Innsworth teams with Corn Elder and those guys that won all those state championships under head coach Ricky Bowers, Paul Wade, the offensive coordinator of those teams, were single eye, give it to Corn Elder, or throw deep play action. And they did a lot of that under center. They did a lot of that in shotgun. But George's ability to throw to now 5-star receiver Keyshawn Bowman over the top of defenses. I talked to one coach who told me, we have to defend Brentwood Academy so much differently because not only is it the pass over the top, it's the pass across the field that he can zip out of there that we're not there in coverage yet in zone defense or in man even because he can just zip it with velocity of an arm that I've not seen before from the right hash mark to the left sideline. The guy's got an incredible amount of arm strength. I think he throws a beautiful deep ball to play in this offense. The question is, A, protecting yourself that you mentioned, and B, what does that look like when you've got SEC edge rushers and defensive linemen coming after you?
Yeah.
It's one thing to throw a good deep ball when you've got 190-pound defensive ends running after you in high school. It's a much different thing to have future NFL players that are hitting you and knocking you down. How do you get back up and respond to it? And can you still throw accurately when you're getting hit?
Yeah, it's that part of it for me as well. The other part I think needs to be brought up even more so, like the quarterback being the centerpiece of it all. Yes, absolutely. Probably one of the biggest storylines we'll have going into it. But he's going to have one of the more experienced. I'm not sure if it's the most experienced offensive line, but he's going to have one of the more experienced offensive lines in the SEC and in college football, with everybody having played some, with David Sanders Jr., Jesse Perry, Sam Pendleton, and Wendell Moy, and I forget the right tackle transfer name, but he's coming in with playing experience as well. Not just that, but you got Deshaun Bishop.
Ori Williams, the right tackle.
Ori Williams at right tackle. You have him. That experience is good. Not just that, but you got Deshaun Bishop as well. And you got other speed guys behind him at the running back position. The ground game, Will, is where they have to eat. The ground game, the tight ends are experienced. The passing game, to me, needs to just be a cherry on the top. I know Mike Matthews is going to be, and Braden Staley is going to get their numbers and finding that third wide receiver, which I think they have. But the calling card needs to be ground. It has to be that point. If going in those situations with a backup quarterback, I'll put it that way. George or Faison won't be backup quarterbacks, but they're young. If that group up front, and we don't see it this year, don't take a sense of pride in protecting them, letting him grow up, and making sure that they turn into friggin' animals up front. If anybody touches them, then I'm going to be highly disappointed. If Coach Glenn Ellaby don't have those guys eating gunpowder and just being one of the nastiest group because, yes, you do have one of the most inexperienced quarterbacks, whether it's Faison or whether it's George. At center, I'm going to have a huge problem with that this fall. It starts up front with me.
What we can't do is move the goalposts as far as expectations.
I'll give you that.
Because just with Joey Aguilar exiting, you obviously have a lower floor at Tennessee this season. I think we could all agree on that. We just don't know what we have at quarterback. That was still kind of Josh Heupel's call. I'm under the impression if they really wanted to go get Bo Pribula after Sam Leavitt was leaving them at the altar to go to LSU, they probably could have had Bo Pribula. They elected to stick with what they had in-house. Okay, That's fine. You just better be confident and better have somebody ready you feel like who can lead you to a step forward in 2026 in-house. Josh Heupel in Tennessee's on this routine where the odd years they rebuild and the even years they compete. And in 2022, they go to the Orange Bowl and are a disaster against South Carolina away from being in a 14 playoff. In 2025, they rebuild with Joe Milton. Or excuse me, 2023, they rebuild with Joe Milton. 2025, they rebuild with Joey Aguilar. But again, 24, they're in the playoff. 26, time to compete again.
No doubt.
You'd love to get to a point where you could compete like that every year, but that's been the reality of the routine. Again, that's all fine and good when you actually do make the playoff and you do compete for playoff spots. But considering the way last year went and the way your season ended at home to Vanderbilt, the pressure still exists regardless of who's a quarterback.
No doubt. So here's what I will add to your point about throwing all of that into the mixing pot is the talent has gotten better. The ratings are higher than they ever have been with the players that are there.
Agreed.
Either through the portal or experience. The expectation, yes, well, I 100% am riding with you on that one. And this is where a coaching job has to be done well in order to preserve what you've already built and not let it go to crap as far as expectation goes. This year, to me, falls on coaches because you begged and got and paid for all the talent. They got to cash that in as well.
Coming up next, back to college hoops discussion. Now, we've already had one conference championship winning coach on this morning in Casey Alexander. Let's add another one, Ramon. Austin Peay winning the ASUN championship for the first time in program history. Their head coach, Corey Gibson, joins us coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster for Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Y'all, we've had such a wishy-washy type of weather spree just going on right now, man. You got to probably turn the AC on a little bit when it hit the 70s and go right back to the heat. Well, I'm here to tell you this, man. If you have those type of issues or are having problems out of your HVAC, man, Hiller is the company that you need to run to. And I do mean that, well, you don't literally have to run. You can go to happyhiller.com if you need to. Well, whether it's HVAC issues or plumbing or electrical, they can fix all of those items. I'm not even ashamed to say I've had them come through my house and fix those things. And it's a one-time shot, man. Never any of that we'll fix it and it needs to be fixed again and then fix again. No, absolutely not. They're experts. They solve your problems quickly. And not only just that, man, the price you told is the price that you'll actually pay. There are no hidden fees or surprises on your bill when you get them at all. You don't stay in business for over 35 years if you don't have that type of credit. The family owned and operated as well. And the techs, the people that are coming to your house, man, they're very professional, experienced, and trustworthy. And they're all background and drug screened as well. Cool part that they do. I'm not sure if other companies don't, but if you're not using Hiller, you wouldn't understand this. Well, when they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time. So you're not just sitting around wasting your time and just guessing if somebody's going to show up. And then if you leave and they show up and you're not there, you got to race back home. Hiller solves all of those problems. They believe in this. Happy you'll be able to service is free. If you're not happy or satisfied with the work that they do, they will give you your money back. Listen, to book with them or learn more about Hiller, simply go to happyhiller.com.
Ramona Will, the 104.5 The Zone continues, wrapping up hour number 3. Ramon Foster and Will Bowling connecting with Austin Peay head coach Corey Gibson here in a matter of seconds. Get back to some NFL Combine discussion in our 4th hour. We're going to do a Foster 5 on biggest Titans draft needs. that I'm looking forward to.
I'm looking forward to that one too. I like this time of the year where we can speak about real stuff. And I'm also more excited about this year because it's not just one position.
Yeah. A lot of different ways Titans could go. So we'll get back into that coming up in our fourth hour. But right now, we are pleased to be joined by the head coach of Austin Peay men's basketball, Corey Gibson, this morning as the Govs claim their first ASUN championship and a win at Jacksonville over the weekend. Coach, congratulations. Good morning. How are you?
Top of the morning. Thanks for the kind words and encouragement. Appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. 10-game winning streak, tied for the longest since a 17-game stretch since 03-04. Coach, what do you like about the way your team's playing right now?
You know, we saw some bright spots with this team in the recruitment class even before they set foot on campus. Give credit to the staff for feeding the funnel, getting out there, targeting the right guys. But we have a group of young men, and I'm not saying this to patronize any of their parents or guardians, but we have a group of young men that have been raised by some tremendous people and that have instilled the right things in them. And all we've done is we've just built upon the values that have already been put in them by their parents and guardians.
I love it, Coach.
Absolutely.
And
That's
you've got a
awesome.
number of first-year players that have been filling up the stat sheet, from Colin Parker, transfer from Columbia College. Rashad Marshall comes in from Arkansas State, started his career at Ole Miss. And Zyree Collins, your freshman point guard from St. Louis, having a terrific season as well. What went into the evaluation process, Coach, of those players? And what is kind of the DNA that you guys as a staff are looking for when you look at the transfer portal and high school recruiting to fill out this roster?
It has to do with the raising. You know, I mention it all the time, and oftentimes the conversation has the tendency to maybe get steered another direction. But so often nowadays, the household, the raising is not discussed enough. It's not discussed. It's always the ability. It's always who's scoring, who's rebounding. The raising, whatever a parent or guardian put in you, that's what's going to come out of you. It's inevitable, even in adulthood. When we get in tough moments as adults, it's what was put in us when we were younger. With this class that we have, we could see the type of raising that they had. We knew their families. You know, some of us played against some of their uncles and cousins and relatives. So when it comes to coaching these young men and being constructive and continue to empower them, there was a sounding board from people that we knew that trusted us beyond basketball. And that has a lot to do with affording us the opportunity to remain their coach for the duration of a season. If you look around the country now, some staffs, yes, are completing their season, but they're not the coaches of their team. And you got to really digest what I said right there. You got some players across the country checking themselves in and out of games, and the coach has no control over it. Mm-hmm. This is what's not talked about in our profession right now.
Right.
You have to remain the coaches of a roster for the duration of a season. And these young men have to allow it.
Mm-hmm. Joined by Austin Peay's basketball head coach Corey Gibson this morning. Coach, when you look at this team this year, this has been a build-up from last year to this year to getting to this point, man. And I know it's probably been a longer process than that, but you speak on these guys' fortitude and their ability to come from great homes and be challenged. When did you know that this group was going to accept that challenge, Coach?
We knew before we brought them here.
Okay.
That's why we targeted them and targeted those young men. And we knew we had the right returners. Now, we have a saying that we use around here that moving forward, we're only going after the right young men. And if we don't get the right one, we're okay with it. We can live with it. We have made a decision that we're not going to take the wrong ones because the wrong ones will beat you behind closed doors every doggone day.
No doubt about it. Coach, when you look at your coaching team, you were at Austin Peay once before as an assistant, and now being back as a head coach. From that time in which you took a couple of laps around the sun at Austin Peay and at other places, what prepared you for this moment to get them to the point where they get their first ever conference championship in this conference that you guys are playing in now? What got you there?
You know, in life, you learn when you travel around and you have an opportunity and you're blessed to be on other staffs and work with other people. It's two things that happen, and both of them help the same if we're willing to digest it. Is a lot of times in coaching and in professions, we like to say, oh, man, this guy learned a lot from this person when they had success. Okay? I always cringe when I hear that, because in life, you learn what to do and what not to do. I learned a lot of what to do on other staffs I've been on, and I learned a heck of a lot of what not to do. And so what you do is you take the what to do and the what not to do, and you put it in a pot of gumbo, and it can come out smelling good as long as you digest it all the right way.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about, Coach. I can tell there's more than just basketball up there in Clarksville, man. Like, you guys are building something special. And I have to ask you as well, because we've had the head football coach on here as well. There's got to be a little bit of competitive juices between both sides now, as you guys are in a very healthy tenure right now up in Clarksville with Austin Peay.
It's so supportive here. The way that all the athletic teams rally around each other. Everybody wants to see their brother and sister do extremely well. The community has really risen to be a true six-man to all the athletic teams around here, but basketball being six-man, we play with five at a time. It's amazing how the chant, "Let's Go Peay," is back in order. We've had some sellout crowds here inside the Vault, F&M Bank Arena. We have people traveling on the road to be a true extension of the team. It's just great to have the military, Fort Campbell military base, rally around this group. It's all coming together at the right time. You know, everything is seasonal, and as a staff, we understand. And this is something that we said before we got here at Austin Peay, is that we're blessed to be standing in the gap. Way I was raised, my family always told me that somebody's going to have a job before you and somebody's going to have it after you. But while you're blessed to be there in the present moment, okay, you make sure that you're always the best version of yourself. And when you leave, okay, you leave it better than you found it. We're staying humble on this journey. And the best way to unwrap a present is to stay in the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Coach Corey Gibson, Austin Peay men's basketball coach, our guest. Coach, as you know, you guys went viral for the win you guys had with less than 2 seconds, beating North Florida down 76-75. Jacory Robinson throws that pass. Rashad Marshall tips it, and then Anton Brookshire is there to throw it in at the buzzer. What was going through your head watching this play, Coach? And have you ever seen anything like that in a basketball game?
I've seen something like it now, I can tell you that.
It's true.
In real time. Yeah. But, you know, somebody asked me about that the other day. This is somebody that I know in the profession. And they say, Gib, what were you thinking during that time? I said, what I was thinking during that time is that the staff and everybody involved, the young men on the roster, nobody flinched. Nobody did. Nobody pointed fingers. We didn't have any palms up. There were no heads down. And that's a testament of how this team has been all season. We lost our bus driver right in front of us on a road trip. And he passed away right in front of us, right before we had pregame meal and we had to cancel the game. This team has endured so much. So when you experience a little adversity in between the lines, you know how to handle it and come together, because we went through that in the non-conference of losing our bus driver in front of us. And so, but one thing we have to keep in perspective, sometimes And I'm going to lay some heavy on you now. Now, I'm so proud of the pass from Ja'Cory. I'm so proud of the tip from Rashad. I'm so proud of the putback from Anton. I'm so proud of the spacing, the decoys of the other guys. I'm so proud of the bench that rallied with energy and positivity. But sometimes in life, the wrong thing is the right thing. The timeout was the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach.
As much as that young fella may have contemplated himself after that game for calling the timeout, he's a bright young man. The guys, they knew we didn't have any timeouts.
Right.
But sometimes the wrong thing is the right thing. Had we gone into overtime, we wouldn't have won.
Wow.
We had too many guys with 4 fouls. That game had to be ended in regulation. Lord have mercy, I'm preaching now.
You are, Coach. I love it.
Hey,
I love it. We just tweeted it out at Ramon and Will. A crazy ending. You can see the video of there. But, Coach, you guys got a really easy team to root for, and we are excited to follow along through the postseason. You guys, as you wrap up regular season play and as you head into tournament time, where do you want to see this team take the next step in ASUN tournament play?
We got to win today.
Yeah.
And we've been preaching that all year. We got to win today. We got to stay present to unwrap the present. We got to stay present to unwrap the present. We got to win today, and we got to sweep our own porch. We can't try to sweep somebody else's porch and keep up with the Joneses, okay? As long as we continue to stay present and stay focused on the task at hand, we'll stay on the road that we had trajected and projected to start the season.
I love it.
Man,
Austin Peay head coach Corey Gibson with us this morning. The Govs, ASUN regular season champions, cheering for them along the way as they head into postseason play as well.
12-0 at home.
Coach, you are preaching. Really, really appreciate the time. Great to talk with you. Hope to do it again soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Love you guys.
No
yes,
doubt,
sir.
Man, appreciate that.
All right, there's Corey Gibson with us this morning.
Want to go get me some Jordans and play for them, too.
Yeah, that was awesome.
What?
That was awesome.
Coach Gibb, man.
If I was a high school basketball player, I'd love to play for that guy.
Ooh, between their doggone football team and
got it going on.
Basketball.
Jeff Ferris and Corey Gibson, two outstanding men to have leading your football and basketball programs.
I'm piped up right now.
Coming up next, we will get you the headlines we've talked about throughout the morning. If you're just waking up and joining us, Team USA over Canada. Hockey belongs to us. We'll talk about it next.
Genesis Diamonds has quickly become one of the largest dealers of luxury pre-owned Rolex watches in America, and they're having a huge Rolex event next Friday and Saturday. Yes, it's March 6th and 7th. If you've always wanted a Rolex or you're looking to add to your collection, you can't miss this epic two-day sale featuring a stunning new selection of these hard-to-find watches, Submariners, Daytonas, Pepsis, Batmans. Genesis has all the most popular models in pristine condition. Some models still in the box, never worn before. During this event, you can either take advantage of the special financing up to 5 years, and with this purchase of any luxury pre-owned Rolex watches this event, Genesis will give you a pair of 4-carat lab-grown diamond stud earrings absolutely free. And if you already own a Rolex, bring it in to sell or trade or get top dollar for it. Don't miss this chance to get the luxury timepiece you've always wanted and get a free pair of lab-grown diamond studs. It's next Friday and Saturday. Yes, that's March 6th and 7th only. And only at Genesis Diamonds, your home for luxury pre-owned Rolex watches. They're located in Green Hills and Cool Springs. See store for details while supplies last on approved credit.
9:05, good morning, live from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I'm Justin Hawkins. It took 46 years, but the USA men's hockey team are gold medalists once again. Jack Hughes nets the overtime winner, 141 into overtime, as the U.S. beat Canada 2-1 to take the gold. Here's Kenny Albert's call on NBC.
States with numbers. Knocked across it comes. Jack Hughes wins it. The golden goal for the United States. For the first time since the 1980 miracle, the United States takes the gold.
It's the first gold medal in men's hockey for the U.S. since the 1980 Miracle on Ice team, where the U.S. beat the Soviets in the semifinal and then Finland to take the gold. Canada controlled much of the game, but USA goaltender Connor Hellebuyck made 41 saves in the win. And as the Olympics ended yesterday, the final medal tally, as Norway led the way with 41 medals, followed by the U.S. with 33, and host nation Italy took home 30. On Saturday night, Nashville SC kicked off the MLS season with a dominant 4-1 win over the New England Revolution at Geodis Park. Sam Surridge scored twice in the first 16 minutes. Nashville secured the 3 points. And on West End Saturday afternoon, the Tennessee Vols beat Vanderbilt on West End in college hoops 69-65, led by Jacoby Gillespie, 17 points and 3 steals. The Vols improved to 10-4, and Vanderbilt falls to 8-6 in SEC play. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Away we go into the fourth and final hour on your Monday morning. NFL Combine Week begins. I'm headed up there after the show with Titans Radio, and we will have lots on the way for you. Coming up from Indianapolis this week, Ramon has the top 5 draft needs for the Titans coming up in 15 minutes for you.
Necessary.
You can give your thoughts at 615-737-1045. Whether that's on Titans or the fact that we took hockey from Canada, Ramon.
Yeah, we did. Also, listen, we're not going to talk Lady Vols basketball, but the softball team is also number 1 this weekend. We're just taking almost everything that's not supposed to be ours at this point. But hockey, no, ice football is what it is.
That's what we're calling it. Yeah, now that we've taken hockey from Canada, we can call it whatever we want. We've decided on ice football.
Ice football
is what hockey is now going to be called. And we have decided as well that Connor Hellebuyck is the new Department of Defense Secretary for the United States. He joins Tim Howard in that role. So congratulations to Connor Hellebuyck.
I'll allow it.
Well
41
done,
saves. Connor Hellebuyck joining Tim Howard as the Secretary of Defense for these United States.
I'd love it. I'd allow it. And also, I think we've all collectively, as a show and now as a city as well, understand that we can officially send Joseph Bonanno up north, because it's un-American of him to be rooting for Canada the way he did and trying to hide his citizenship from all of us. The producer dude on 3HL.
Producer dude is crazy.
Take that, Canada.
Yeah, take that.
The save that Connor Hellebuyck made with his stick, and not even the fat part of the stick, on Devin Tays from point blank was crazy. Nathan McKinnon missing a wide open net. McKinnon, who after the game said, "Watch that game and tell me who you think the better team is." Probably the team that won gold, not silver.
I mean, what are we doing?
The Canadians outshot Team USA 19-8 in the second period, but it did not matter. Americans went 18 of 18 in the penalty kill in this tournament. They make some bold calls in the guys they brought in. They wanted the best overall team, not just the best collection of stars, and it paid off for him. I was thinking about this, Ramon, looking at a lot of the bars and the shots of watch parties and seeing like governors and mayors saying we will allow alcohol sales sooner on Sundays. I thought a lot about this, and I figured out what I think USA hockey in the Olympics is. It's the closest thing we have to what soccer is for a lot of countries around the world. Because basketball, we're so dominant.
Yeah.
That, yes, basketball is the bigger appeal and bigger draw. I will not push back on that whatsoever. But in terms of the emotion, sweating out something that's not a given, and I know the rest of the world's caught up in basketball recently, so You watched that game against France 2 years ago. Certainly it wasn't a given.
No, it wasn't.
But from the Miracle on Ice to 1980, which Al Michaels did an interview on Netflix, Ramon, and said, that was the first time I remember hearing the USA, USA chant at a sporting event.
Wow.
That was the beginning of USA, USA. I think it is as close as a thing we have as to what the World Cup is to what world soccer is around the world. And I think it's cool how unifying hockey is.
Yeah, I heard somebody on the radio this past weekend trying to crap on the idea that people are passive watchers of this or just not fully in tune to what the NHL is and don't know the guys. And I'm thinking to myself, like, don't ruin this. Like, this is a good moment where everybody's rooting for the same exact thing when it boils down to, like you said, the country-to-country pride. Like, as much as sports mean, and Mike Tirico said that, too. Like, we're a country that care about sports, right? And I know other countries do as well, and they go about it a whole lot differently than we do. Like, they identify young athletes early, put them in a lab, put them in a school, develop them so that they can compete at this level and win world, basically, championships. And that's what it is. Like, if you go back to war times in Germany, like, it was a sense of pride being able to win for your country and deliver on that end. So for the people that you're not a hockey watcher, or you don't care about the luge and all this type of stuff, like, it does still matter. And that game this past Sunday was, to your point, our version of 1980 in this generation right here. And not just that, but if you bring up the point, too, about the parents and everybody else that's played in this, the lineage that they have, the Kachuk brothers. I brought it up earlier, like their dad joking, but probably was lightly serious. Come back with the gold or you're written out of the wheel. That's a great joke to tell, but that's also that pressure of performing.
Their motto going into this Olympics was gold or bust.
It's heavy.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And they had to come back against Sweden to get there. They killed Slovakia in the semifinal, and then obviously to sweat out this one against Canada. Mm-hmm. It's a team that clearly loves their country, that loves playing together, that loves each other, that loves the Olympics, and loved drinking beers last night, considering some of the videos that were on social media, as is their right. They earned it.
Yeah. I just wanted to add to it as well, though, too. Like, I can appreciate, a team facilitating the best team. Not necessarily the best names. Like, I will say the basketball side of it in the Summer Olympics, you go get the best players that got the best names attached to it as well. But even still looking at that one, the way they brought Jason Tatum and Ant-Man along for the ride, too.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, you want to be able to show those young guys, this is how we play ball. And I think that was one of the things that Anthony Edwards got from that on the basketball side. And you're seeing that now on the hockey side. Like I said, there are going to be some villains birthed from this in Canada. Watching.
Well, and the Kachucks are as big of villains as it gets in the sport of hockey.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I saw somebody make a joke that the U.S. has two pairs of brothers, one evil, one good. The Kachucks are evil and the Hughes brothers are good. And Quinn Hughes looks like a Victorian child who's listening to ghosts when he sits on the bench because he just looks down, rocking back and forth like the ghosts are speaking to him.
The Kachuk brothers are the modern day Bash brothers from the Mighty Ducks.
Are they really?
Yeah. 100%.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
That's the perfect way
but
to put
they're
it.
much more skilled.
They're much more skilled.
Yeah.
Big time.
I'll tell you why I got skilled in this morning.
What's that?
I got a 2-for-1.
What's that? 2 for 1?
I got on a hockey shirt, but it's also Vols related.
Did you not realize?
Somebody.
Did I not? No, did he not?
Did I know what?
Like, when you put that on, did you have
I woke up with this on my mind.
Oh, okay.
I woke up with it on my mind. Like, I'm getting a 2-for-1. I hadn't seen certain individuals in the chat this morning because all I kept hearing about is going down on the West End on the 21st.
Who have you not seen this morning?
I had not seen them. I think it's Keith. The Vandy guys, ain't even gonna lie. They pretty cool.
We have a strong audience of Vanderbilt fans that tune in to 104.5 The Zone TV.
Vandy Man, AD, and the Vandy Crest, they usually pretty cool. This is one particular guy that promised it was going to be a beat down on West End. But as Ron Slay said, a.k.a. Savage, there's only one team in the SEC with 2 homes. You got
2
it?
homes. and that's the UT Volunteers. One down on West End and one up on Rocket Top.
Well said. The only way that Ron Slay can say it.
Yes, Daryl, I'm calling them out. Them dudes been menaces in the YouTube chat, man, and I'm hearing crickets.
You're hearing that right there. 615-737-1045 is our number. A Foster 5 top draft needs in 2026 for the Titans after this. Ramona Will at 104.5 The Zone previewing NFL Draft 2026 on NFL Combine Week. Glad you're with us. Hope you'll hang around with us for the final 40 minutes of the show. 615-737-1045, how you jump in. Real quick, before we dive into draft stuff, Easton Freeze has a reporter on the ground in Nashville that has taken a picture and tweeted at him that there is a billboard over by Vandy, the square billboard right there. Like, it's got like a name, doesn't it? Like the sign?
Yeah, it does.
Or something. Right across from Hall's Chop House. That's got a Titan blue uniform looking thing with a Navy TriStar. And in the bottom right corner, it says 3/12/26. Okay.
Big announcement.
Maybe our first jersey tease or logo tease, potentially. Who's to say?
Definitely looks like a jersey.
Yeah, it does definitely look like a jersey.
Yeah.
All for the TriStar being more embraced, by the way.
Before we go further, more simple, look bold.
I can't, off of that one picture, tell you anything. I can't, off that one picture, tell you anything confidently about what the whole jersey is going to look like, to be totally honest with you. I have no clue. We know the reports are they're embracing more red, but this would at least show a little bit more still two-tone blue, which I also think is important.
It does. Jersey Gate. I buy into it.
I love jerseys. People know that about me. Always have.
I just don't rock. I almost got every jersey to wear, but what is it? Basketball jerseys? I hadn't worn one since my Penny Hardaway one.
That's the only thing I've not really owned. I had a C.J. Watson jersey growing up. Shout out. And I had a Chris Lofton jersey, which then turned into an Emmanuel Nagadu jersey, which then turned into a Jarnell Stokes jersey.
There we go.
Then a Zakai Ziegler jersey, but that also, I wouldn't fit into it anymore.
Brother,
I was a child.
That Orlando Magic, when they changed that logo to the shooting Magic. Brother, that Penny Hardaway.
Great logo.
Orlando Magic.
Man. You probably like bowling jerseys, wouldn't you?
Bowling jersey? I would. Absolutely. The shirts?
Would I?
Man, throw my advertising.
What do you mean?
That's a play on your last name.
Oh, come on, Justin. We're better than that.
You been the Pops, man.
Spare me the bowling jokes.
He got about 3 years to get his dad jokes.
I'll take a strike on that one.
I'm going to frame you for someone that has committed a crime if you keep this
It wasn't a perfect game, was it?
No,
that's not a good one. That's not a good one because perfect game is at any sport.
I ruined it, didn't I?
Yeah, it's not great.
T-Hawk going to be disappointed. Lil Tatum going to be disappointed with your dad jokes up there.
Yeah, Uncle Moan. Appreciate you.
Here.
He's hooking me up over here.
Baby.
There you go. Nice.
Hey, you got to make sure baby T-Hawk is safe in the vehicle.
Baby T-Hawk. I like it.
Baby T-Hawk. It's going to stick.
All right. Top draft needs for the Titans in 2026. Our Foster 5 this morning. Let's begin at the bottom. Number 5, Ramon, for Titans draft needs is what?
And this is before free agency kicks off. But if we're going into
draft need, not off-season roster needs. Draft needs
is super important for them to start developing interior D-line and O-line, but specifically this year. Number 5 for me is interior offensive line. Whether that be backup center, we're not sure what Jackson Slater's going to get out of it. Not sure if Lord Cushenberry is going to be back as well. I don't think they're going to re-sign Kevin Zeitler back to this squad. Also,
really, you don't?
Well, I just can't see him running it back.
Why not?
15 years in. It took him a while to get going. Like, I do think there's an avenue to get younger and better at that position.
I'll be honest,
his status.
I think we've probably dismissed his return a little too much.
Straight up.
I think so. I think there is a world where if he wants to come back, you take him. 4 sacks allowed according to PFF last year. I mean, yeah, he's drafted in 2012. he's been around. This be year 15, but he was fine last year.
Fine is okay, but not when you're in a rebuild to me. I'd say that even if it was me. I love Kevin Zeitler as a player.
After the bye week, Kevin Zeitler did not give up a single sack.
Here's what I'll also add to you. This is just my football side coming out. New team, new energy, new level that I feel like a guy 15 years is going to have to go through to match what Robert Saleh and his staff is going to be asking of it. I think Brian Dable and his offense is going to hit the ground running, and they might need a little bit of youth. Now, this is my projection. They could very well sign him back, but I thought he took a little longer to get started last year.
I don't think they have to immediately, though, in the starting lineup have youth at right guard.
Not necessarily.
Because whatever's best for Cam Ward is what you've got to do. If that means another guard in their 30s, then that's another guard in their 30s.
Understood, but I also look at that guard in his 30 and look at the mobility of him and say to myself, like, that offense is going to be very much, I think, side to side, and I'm not sure if Zeitler fits that mold.
Okay.
So that's why I'm going interior offensive line. And this pick, to me, is 5th or later as well.
And honestly, even if you do bring back Kevin Zeitler, interior offensive line is still a need.
Yes.
So
depth.
Independent of my opinion on Zeitler coming back or yours on him not coming back, it is a need either way.
Yeah. No doubt.
Center and guard, to be honest with you, and including all of that in one boat is good. Corey Levin is going to need to either be re-signed or replaced. Mm-hmm. And the same could be said for Lloyd Cushenberry if they do decide to move on from him. We'll see.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the development of this group moving forward, you got to have a stable of guys, and they don't have that currently on this team. And especially as many late-round draft picks they got, like your 5th, 6th, well, I would probably go 6th and 7th round guys. This is where you find those interior fellas.
Would not be surprised at all to see the Titans have 2 new starters in the offensive line in 2026.
No doubt.
At center and right guard. Number 4 on your list of Titans draft needs is what?
Wasn't there at first, but now it is. Interior linebacker, off-ball linebacker.
Surprises me a little bit.
Defensive style and philosophy. I think when you look at the help that you're going to need and finding those gems for this defense, the athleticism to match Cedric Gray moving forward, I'm not sure if Cody Barton fits that. I didn't know Cody Barton pretty much did a 3-year deal that's basically cuttable after this past year. Like, there's an out for him. Mm-hmm. And considering the style of ball and the type of linebackers we've seen Robert Saleh play with, I personally don't know if Cody fits that. Now, the question that you have to ask, what will they do in free agency? And can Cedric Gray lead a young guy if they do choose to go that direction?
I think it's interesting. And yeah, the evaluation on James Williams really matters here.
It does.
If you believe that James Williams can be a 3rd linebacker in a 4-3 base defense, maybe that solves some of your problems or answers some of your questions. I think the other thing is, how teachable is Cedric Gray in coverage? Do you feel like you need to go find a role player? This is where I feel like, Ramon, the Titans could use a formerly drafted Titan again. Go find Jayon Brown again. Go get a coverage specialist. David Long Jr. even was kind of a similar type skill set to Jayon when he was drafted. And in the same way the Titans drafted Amani Hooker to start as a role player and eventually turn into a starter by the end of his rookie deal, can you find an off-ball linebacker that comes in as a coverage specialist to play as a role player who by the end of his rookie contract could be a starter next to Cedric Gray? Makes a ton of sense.
It does.
Yep. I like it.
So that it wasn't on my radar at first, but it is now.
I think the move to a 4-3 certainly moves that need for inside linebacker up the list. Yeah, I think it's fair.
And here's the other part, too. As a former player, I'm not advocating for cuts. I just will say this. I know how this business works, and you're always looking for your guy or an upgrade at that position. And
That's
Cody's
true.
lack of coverage can be problematic for this defense. When the front 7 is the strong part of it, especially when the secondary's got a whole lot of room to grow with, or lack of.
I honestly think that's a bigger weakness for Cedric than it is Cody. Cedric being a thumper and a downhill run-stopping inside linebacker. Cody Barton's still a converted safety, too.
This is very true, but I view the production level in which Cedric played at last year and the fact that he's in a position to grow. Well, I'll say this. I think his attitude matches the style of ball that you need for the other linebacker, the non-coverage linebacker.
Take it with a grain of salt of what PFF says. Cedric Gray had a 59.0 coverage grade last year. That was 36th among all linebackers in the National Football League. Cody Barton in his first year with the Titans had a 56.9 coverage grade. So very similar, 41st.
Yeah.
Comparable. To that point, though, Cody Barton's run defense grade was 82nd among 88 linebackers. And Cedric Gray's was 2nd among 88 linebackers. So you obviously live with more of the coverage deficiencies when you are, and this is not hyperbole, one of the best run-stopping inside linebackers in the NFL.
No doubt.
That's what Cedric Gray was last season.
Great point, too. And you brought up a second ago, James Williams can't play coverage. We don't know still.
He certainly can. I don't like can or can't because he can. It's, to me, never been the athletic part of it. Like, again, converted safety.
Yeah.
The guy has off-the-charts athleticism and ability to make plays, and he's built in a way with his arms and with his size.
It's rare.
He's built for it.
Yeah.
It's for me, just the aggressiveness part of it. He's so over-aggressive that it's giving up the big play.
Mm-hmm.
That, to me, is the question on James Williams.
And when you watch him as well, too, and this is without their all 22 that they have, but like it almost looks as if he's still thinking and growing through the process. So he's almost like a step behind when you watch him in coverage or trailing guys or trying to decide if I want to be physical or if I want to go make a play. This is third year for him. He's still got a lot of growth, but his issue is, Duck, and I see it was him that asked that in the chat. He hasn't defined a role for himself. And in the NFL, man, by like year 3, with as well as he's doing on special teams, like he might have turned himself into a teamer instead of position player.
Well, and that's the point. Like the evaluation of James Williams will decide where they feel like they need to add an inside linebacker or not add an inside linebacker. Tweet from Scooby asks, what are the chances Slater can take the left guard spot this year? At Ramon Foster, at Ramon and Will. I assume you mean right guard because Peter Skronsky is your starting left guard. What are the chances Jackson Slater can start at right guard?
He got to go compete and hit the ground running. Now, it all depends upon who they bring in free agency-wise as well. That's what he's up against. This is all new. I know Dable and all Gus Bradley, all of them said they're evaluating the player on face value first. But they watch tape is what I would tell you. He'll have a battle, and I think that'll be one of the few positions that will have a camp battle this year.
Number 3 on your list of Titans draft needs entering Combine Week is what?
I put this one at number 3 because I think you can find value in the first 3 rounds, and that's wide receiver. It could be top of the list for some. It's 3 for me because there are so many of them coming out this draft that a lot of the talking heads have said you can find a first-round talent in the second round. And therefore, when you look at the number 4 overall pick, I view this one as hey, you'll get one in the second or third that's going to be very serviceable for you and can contribute this year.
Again, evaluation of the guys currently on the roster matters a lot here. Is Calvin Ridley still a Titan?
Oof.
Is Chimere Dike a return specialist who plays wide receiver?
Mm-hmm.
Or is he a wide receiver who's also an all-pro returner? Is Elikiah Manor built to be wide receiver 2 potential? Or do you feel like he's more of a big slot or a big outside target in the red zone who fits more as a wide receiver 3 and as a 500 to 600 yard guy? I agree with you, though. There's a clear top 3 here. And wide receiver, I think I would also put 3rd. Yeah.
Do you feel the same way I do? Like there's spots everywhere in the draft?
I think our top 3s are going to be exactly the same because my number 3 would also be wide receiver.
Okay. I just actually flipped it not that long ago as far as my top 3. Yeah, okay. I did.
What's your number 2?
Edge.
I'm with you.
Oh!
I'm right there with you.
Air 5, man.
There we go.
It's air high 5.
Why edge number 2 instead of corner?
Edge number 2 because I think it's sound disrespectful for me saying this about defensive players. I think you can find a replacement sooner in free agency with edge. The guys that are coming in at edge this year, Arvell Reese is still a tweener to me. He's a weapon. I don't know if you play him on the edge per se. When you look at...
Yeah, you just play him everywhere, right?
Everywhere is the way I look at that. When you look at David Bailey is, I think, going to be good but not ready yet. And the question you have on him is, do I spend the 4th overall pick on a good but not ready yet player that can have a ceiling outside of this world? Or do you go with Reuben Bain Jr., who's going to be the cast, I think, of really, really good, but not great? Because I don't know athletically is his measurements going to be there for you to say he's the number 1, our first overall pick when it boils down to it, but I like him as a weapon. You get what I'm saying? Like, I feel like free agency can solve this problem beforehand.
And even though maybe edge is a priority in the first round.
Yes.
It doesn't make it the overall priority of the draft as a whole because, Ramon, I think they need to draft 2 corners the way things currently sit. Obviously, I know that you don't draft the way things currently sit. They will have free agency to fill out all of these needs, but they need young corners badly.
Talented.
Really badly. Yeah, yes. I mean, they already have one in Marcus Harris, but what are you asking Marcus Harris to be year 2, again, as a day 3 draft pick, where you are drafting in days 2 and 3 role players for the near future, or for the present, and starters for the future. Mm-hmm. You've got to find starters and near starters, future starters in this draft. And I agree with you. I think there are edge rushers in free agency. I also think John Franklin Myers being added potentially at interior defensive line is a big deal that can help out this defense. I know he was tweeting at the new Titans assistant D-line coach the other day, or Instagram commenting the other day. I believe as a philosophy, Ramon, that with a healthy Jeffrey Simmons in the interior, there are more edge rushers that are going to be able to eat because they're playing next to Jeff. Yeah. Then right now there are really good corners playing next to other corners in this roster because they don't have any corners, Ramon.
Right.
If L'Jarius Sneed is gone, like, you're looking at Marcus Harris as Will Smith and Fresh Prince, looking in the room, shrugging his shoulders in an empty living room. So corner is your number 1?
It is. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. Put my orange tinted glasses on.
Okay.
After hearing Stoney.
Okay.
Stoney Keeley, who was our draft expert here. Football and other F words. He said Jamal McCoy is probably the best. He's got the best tape of almost anybody from last year when it comes down to that position.
Based off of his 2024 play.
2024.
Before his ACL injury in January.
The PTSD, the BTS, battered Titan center that comes up with drafting injured players or recently healed injured players is going to flare up. But if you tell me, Stoney Keeley, after watching his tape, that he's probably got the best tape, he's better than Mansour Delane out of LSU. If he runs well, if he jumps well, if he's got the hips, if he's got the size, if he's got the range, he's played in a big-time SEC conference. The growing pains, and I see our guy B. Vidal, I think, in the YouTube chat that says, I don't like rookie corners. I feel you. But I'll tell you what you also don't like. You don't like paying astronomical money for players who are corners in free agency as well. There's only 1 or 2 ways to get your due.
And that's a position where if a guy becomes available, there's probably a reason.
There's probably a reason. And most franchise corners stay franchise corners unless you play for the Jets and you trade away Sauce Gardner. My point is this.
Yeah, that's true.
You can justify top 5 corner picks. You can justify DN. You can justify quarterbacks. If you believe that they are the guy. I'm not sure if it's Mansour Delane. I'm not sure if it's Jamal McCoy. But what I'm telling you is this. Finding that caliber of guy in the NFL that's a starter on another team is hard to do.
It is hard to do.
I'm not advocating for corner, but they need a lot of it.
They do need a lot of it.
I am advocating for it.
You are. If we could live in a world where Javon McCoy played in 2025 and was healthy, I would absolutely agree with you. I just don't see that guy in this class. Given Javon McCoy's injury red flags, I'm not willing to take him with a 4th overall pick.
I feel you.
Not today.
I get it.
Now, that may change in this process. Again, I don't want to make any absolute statements in February because it's February. And maybe the process really goes well for him and the medicals check out. I don't know. We're speaking with confidence on something that we don't have all the facts on. Mm-hmm. And the facts are the medical checks, the interviews, all these things. It's what makes draft process so fun. None of us are totally right or wrong because we're all making educated or very educated guesses based off of having a lot of info, but not all of the info. So it truly is choose your own adventure. But that being said, I don't see a corner in this class worthy of the number 4 overall pick for the Titans. Now, if you tell me that the Chiefs want to move up and take Jeremiah Love at 4, and I'm going back to 9, then okay, we can have a very different conversation at that point. Plus, you get some insurance. Maybe you get something at the back of the 1st or the top of the 2nd, or it's like I'm talking baseball. Top of the 2nd inning here at the NFL draft in Pittsburgh. Then we could have a different conversation.
Right.
Okay, so corner 1, edge rusher 2, wide receiver 3, off-ball linebacker 4, and interior O-line 5.
Yeah.
I would go the same top three. Corner 1, edge 2, wide receiver 3. I'd go interior D-line 4. Robert Saleh defenses rotate more bodies than the Titans have had. They need a deeper interior D-line room.
Right.
Really, aside from Jeffrey Simmons and Devondre Sweat, it's a lot of unproven players within that room right now. And I think as much as they want to keep their starters fresh, they're going to rotate guys in and out. 5 for me is tackle.
Tackle.
Go find a tackle of the future.
Okay.
Someone that can compete with maybe a free agent signing or a draft pick in 2027 at left tackle if you want to go ahead and move on from Dan Moore.
Starting at the 4th round or later or 4th and earlier?
Yeah.
Fourth.
Go find a project to tackle.
Okay.
That then again could also be a guard for you.
Yeah.
Final thoughts as we wrap up the show coming up next.
Tennessee was hit hard by severe weather last month from Winter Storm Fern. As communities across Tennessee continue to working to rebuild from flooded homes and storm-damaged schools to infrastructure weakened by melting snow and ice, USS is here to help. Since 1994, United Structural Systems has helped thousands of families and businesses restore their homes after foundation damage. Often, that damage comes from the kind of severe weather Tennessee sees year after year. It's just a region of the United States that we live in. But I'm here to tell you, USS doesn't just fix structures. They help restore stability, safety, and a peace of mind, especially for people recovering from storms, flooding, and shifting grounds. Their community involvement is vast, supporting local schools, neighborhoods, and organizations like Habitat for Humanity. Reflects their belief that rebuilding is about hope and rising again together, and they absolutely mean that, man. This year, United Structural Systems is proud to support Habitat for Humanity. Their upcoming spring build in early March, well, guess what? It marks USS 10th Habitat build. Yes, that's 10 homes, good people. A major milestone in their long-standing service to Middle Tennessee. If you or someone you know is dealing with foundation issues, especially after severe storm weather, flooding inside of your house, connect with the company that's committed to quality and community, man. And that's United Structural Systems. Visit USSTN.com and gain a peace of mind with United Structural Systems, foundation repair and waterproofing services. And make sure you tell them that Ramon sent you.
Wrapping up the show on Ramon and Will. Tomorrow, we divide and conquer, Ramon.
Yeah, we do.
I'll join you from Indianapolis. You will be here. And we will begin NFL Combine coverage 2026. Of course, the Buck Rising Show will be up there as well. A lot of interviews, a lot of discussions, a lot of draft people, a lot of Titans radio friends that perhaps could join us. Who's to say?
Be a good time, man. The Combine is where all NFL business get done. You'll probably hear about pre-free agency conversations after this upcoming week.
That's right.
More than any other year, I'm so interested in this class. Just to see, I don't think Mendoza's going to throw. Ty Simpson is. What's the conversation about Ty? Because last year, just as this year, it wasn't a huge conversation about the quarterbacks, and poof, there they go. I wonder what Ty is capable of doing up there.
And is there a Michael Penix Jr. in this class who could sneak their way into the first round?
Nussmeier?
I'd say that'd be the most likely, but...
No, Kate Klubnik.
I think Nussmeier. Garrett Nussmeier from LSU.
Mendoza's not going to throw.
No, he's not.
Nor should he.
Yeah, he should.
Ty Simpson will.
Yeah.
Ramon just said that.
Oh, I thought you said I don't think Mendoza's going to throw, and I was confirming that.
You was confirming me? I've done that before, Hawk. Don't even trip, my dog.
It happens.
Don't even trip, man.
It happens. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm interested to see some of the dialogue around Chris Brazzell. I think that's the most interesting player to me of the Combine. Stoney wrote about it on his Twitter the other day. Stoney Keeley, our draft expert, on I wonder what his stock would look like if, or no, it's Easton, my bad.
Yeah.
They both do great work. I put them in the same boat with that. I don't think either of them would be insulted by being compared to the other.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Easton said, I wonder what Chris Brazzell's draft stock would look like if he didn't play in the Tennessee offense.
He's got the talent for it.
He 100% has the talent for it. And he is not the same mold as the other fast, slighter built, twitchy Tennessee wide receivers who have come in and not been successful. I mean, Chris Brazzell is a combat catcher who was still running NFL type stuff, especially in the red zone. I remember film guy Brooks Austin talking about that after Tennessee played Georgia, saying like people that say that Tennessee's passing concepts are just college concepts aren't watching the film close enough to see how the wrinkles that have been added have made this a little bit more pro-friendly.
No doubt.
And what Tennessee's done.
And I think Heupel's aware of that as well. Like, he's got to make sure that the reason you don't get guys like Carnell Tate is because of the offense. So they got questions about it. So we'll start incorporating those concepts within that offense as well. I think Brazzell's got a lot of talent. No, ain't no I think. I know he does.
100%.
His ability to catch the football and simply go get it has been there. He's made plays as well. So I'm most definitely trying to see what he runs, the perception of him, and when does this conversation about this offense either die off and they trust these guys are NFL talents.
As Tony's in our YouTube chat says, for what it's worth, I'm with Easton on that take. Brazzell is a fun prospect. And I did know that he'd said that before, too. So it's part of how those two opinions got blended in my brain. So.
No doubt.
Looking forward to it. Should be fun.
Real question is, are you driving, riding, sleeping, or what?
I'm not 100% sure. I'll let you know when I get in the car. Back at it tomorrow morning from Indy and Nashville. Austin Price will join us as well. We'll have guests all week from the Combine. Looking forward to it. Football's back, Ramon.
We are so back.
Couple weeks off.
Now we're back. 2-week notice, baby, and we back. Except for March Madness will come up at some point in time.
We can do both.
No doubt about it. Hey, but remember at all times, good people, your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot.